All right, we have started the latest episode. What episode? What number are we on?
This is
Like,
your job.
what? Yeah.
21?
I is it 20? No, I feel like it's 20. I don't know. It
It
doesn't
might be
matter.
20.
Anyways, we're in the latest episode of the Dirty Controller Boys podcast. Yeah, dirt. Um, how you been? How's things?
Um, Pretty good. We're on episode 19.
Oh, okay, so we made it to 19. Good. We're live.
I just looked at the Discord, that's why.
Oh, okay.
The last thing you posted it said
18?
next time on episode 18. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Frieza and Cell. I don't know. I've been playing some games.
Mhm.
I sadly watched some of the Resident Evil. I told you already that I didn't finish it.
Yes.
But you did, so that's good. At least one of us did.
One of us has an opinion.
I'm proud of you.
For putting through. Yeah, because you sent me that message being like, man, I'm already on like episode 4. I'm like, damn, like I haven't watched jack shit. All right, I guess I'll watch it. And then I just binged like a good while of it. But bro, oh my god. Okay, you know what? Just talk about the rest of your week, and like we can like get into that, the whole discussion.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I didn't do a ton of stuff. I finished up Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great show. Do you watch that? I don't know if you watched that.
I haven't watched it in a while, so I'm not up to date.
So you've seen like a few episodes, I guess.
Yes. I think I've probably seen season 1 and season 2, and I think a little bit of season 3.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Their adventures are just like really good. I don't know.
Wacky.
Did you see? Huh?
Wacky.
Yeah. Well, it's really adult themed, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. I thought it was really childish, and then my friend showed me, and he was like, "No, it's like actually like really adult." So it's like really funny and stuff. Did you see the Rick and Morty God of War trailer?
I think I've seen it.
It's just like he opens a box and he pulls out Leviathan's axe.
I think I've seen it, maybe.
It's pretty good. It's a little short thing they did.
I about to
for
say
like to be like the game's coming out.
Yeah, PlayStation. Yeah, because I've seen a couple of things where they actually promoted the PS5 for a good bit.
Okay.
And then they did like a Wendy's ad as well.
It's super smart. A lot of people love that show. It's characters that like people will be like, oh, like that's funny, and then be like, we should go buy Wendy's. I do like Frosties. But I don't know. I really like that. I thought that was funny. I don't know. He pulled out the Leviathan axe, and then I think Morty said to him like, "Don't you want to use that axe to kill these guys?" And he's like, "What? And get blood all over it? No." Anyways, yeah. So I watched that. I need to start Lord of the Rings. I know that just came out, and I'm gonna start watching The Dragon. Oh man, The Dragon. Oh boy, what is that show?
The Dragon.
Oh man, HBO.
It's an HBO show?
Game of Thrones dragon show.
Oh, House of the Dragon, or
House of the Dragon.
Your dragon about the Targaryens.
I'm gonna dragon these nuts all over the Targaryens.
I've been hearing it's actually been pretty okay, as prequels go, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I
heard it's a lot of shock value still.
Okay, I mean that's good, I guess. Because yeah, it is a prequel, and you expect everybody to be dead in a way.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because like
I never watched Game of Thrones. Did you watch that all the way?
I watched until like maybe like season 5. Because when was the last season? The season was like season
5 or
8?
6, I think.
Was it? No, that's a lie. Then I probably watched the season like 4.
Okay.
maybe.
I think it was 6.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it might be 6. But after that, I just kind of fell off, and then what I heard afterwards about like the shit that was like going on with the writing for that show, I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, it really like went downhill. And then
Yeah.
like the ending was like something that a lot of people were like, just like it was not worth it. Some people say it wasn't terrible, but some people say it was like the worst thing from like a television that was so good at the beginning. But I like that's also the problem as well, is that like there was no material left, because like they finished like they were like beyond the books at that point. So it's kind
Oh,
of,
right. Yeah.
yeah, they kind of put themselves into a hole. So there was that whole situation. I know there's like this whole theory that like what is it, that George R. R. Martin like wrote the ending for the show and was like trying to like test the waters to see if like he can end the book that way. And then, but I mean, I don't think it's that absurd.
He was like, whoopsies.
Whoops, guess I'm not writing that shit in.
He was
uh
like, it wasn't me, it was writers.
it's funny too, because you see interviews with a lot of the actors for like the last season, and a lot of their faces were just like during the premiere of that like season, it was just like I mean, they had to promote the fuck out of it, but they were just like, I don't know about this. Yeah, it's like I said, it's really unfortunate, because I really like that first season. It's really good. But yeah, with the books not being done, and I don't think George R. R. Martin is planning on finishing it anytime soon, because it was weird. What I've been hearing is that he has planned out basically the whole, like, the amount of books it's supposed to take to finish the series,
Mhm.
and he kind of fucked himself on that end.
Was he still not done them?
No, he's not done.
Oh.
He's not
Well, he
done
does
with
have
the
a lot
series.
of other projects going on, right?
Uh,
Isn't he working on like Starfield or something?
no, he's not working
Or no, he worked on
Elden Ring, but
Elden Ring.
no, but he only did like the world building. That was basically it. He did nothing for the story or anything like that. He just did the world. But either way, like he was done with that for a good bit.
I was gonna say it's still time consuming.
I guess, but like
I
all
would
he has to...
assume if they needed him, they
Oh yeah,
would have him on call too or something.
yeah. I
Right?
was about to say they probably just zoomed him and be like, "Yo, George, what do you want to put for this world?" And he's like,
AG man.
let's put 2 fingers and then the 3 fingers," and everybody was like, "Okay, I guess." And then the director for Elden Ring was just like, "Okay, I'll take it from there."
George, what should we do here? A horse that hops everywhere.
So this is the thing, is that like a lot of his fans complain about him not finishing his works, and it's just like, dude, just finish it. But there was a statement that came out recently that like kind of leads to the whole thing about like him kind of like not finishing it anytime soon, is because he's kind of feeling a bit of burnout because of like all like the backlash that he's gotten for not finishing the books. So
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean,
yeah,
just like anyone that has a job, people deserve time off. So,
I mean,
like, why not?
he's had time off. Elden
Okay.
Ring was his time off.
I would assume he has a lot of
Yeah, no.
money, so he could do whatever the fuck he wants.
I guess, yeah. But like I said, he kind of fucked himself into a corner, being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna end this series in like 9 books." I believe that's what he planned initially. I
Yeah,
believe.
do we know what book he's on? If not,
Shit.
it's not your deal.
No. We're gonna find this out right now. We're gonna find this out right now because like God.
I would assume book 5. I don't know why that sounds right.
Dog of Ice and Fire.
Fire and ice.
Fire and Ice.
Can you truly sing in both keys?
Yes.
When the world needed him most, George R. R. Martin made a video game.
He just helped point his fingers to certain things to make video game. Uh uh so
Book 7.
book 5.
Hey, let's go.
But wait, let me see. I don't think it was 9. I think he planned on doing 7. Or something like that. He had like a whole thing set, and he gave like a specific number. But yeah, he's on book 5 right now. But book 5 came out in 2011, so that's why a lot of people are like, "What the fuck, man?"
What? Book
The
11?
huh? No, the 5th book came out in 2011.
Oh, okay.
That's why everybody was like, "Give me more. How does
Yeah,
this
that's a lot of
story end?"
years. That's
Yeah,
11 years.
bro. Fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 8 started in fucking 2011. Wait, it's 2011? No, wait, it was 2000. Shit, I don't remember. Wait, hold on. Now I gotta figure this shit out. Either way, is JoJo Part 8 finished? Yes, 2011. Oh my god.
But what about JoJo Part 13 and a half?
That's gonna start in 2077. There you
Nice.
go. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So you're gonna watch that Game of Thrones spinoff and the Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. I think I'm actually, I don't know. I guess I'll watch the
Uh-huh.
the new one first, and then the old Game of Thrones, because the new one's first, right?
New one's a prequel, yeah.
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 So I'll probably watch that and then the other one. I picked up a game that I like that people apparently hate,
Oh?
and I don't understand. Okay, I kind of understand why people don't like it, but it's, in my opinion, still a very good game.
Mhm.
What's it called? Rainbow Six Siege. Well, it's not Siege, right? I don't think. I think it's
Oh,
just
Rainbow
Rainbow
Six Extraction?
Extraction.
Okay. Wait, when did you get this?
I just bought it recently.
God damn it, man. You should have let me know.
It's on sale. So this is what I'm going to tell you. Do you have it?
No, I don't. I don't. I know it's on
So
sale, but
I have the like player pass. So if you want to
oh,
try it out instead of buying it
buying it?
out, then you can try it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Um, so I watched videos on it first. I did so much research on this game before I bought it
Mhm.
because I was so nervous that I was going to buy something that I hate, and like I've been doing like that for a while, like just buying games and being like,
I
"Oh,
don't know
people
how it
say it's
is.
good,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But this one, people were saying it's bad, and I had seen video of it, and I was like, "It looks good. I
It
don't
looks
think it's bad."
it looks pretty polished because it's still the gameplay of Rainbow Six Siege, and that shit is pretty good.
Yeah,
From what I played, but obviously it's a goofy sci-fi kind of shooter with like with Rainbow Six Siege elements. It's very weird, but
yeah,
I kind of dig it in a weird way. But like I said, I'm not like a big um fan. Like I'm not a big player slash fan of Rainbow Six Siege, or let alone the Tom Clancy series. So
yeah,
you also have that angle as well, because this thing is a weird sci-fi spin-off of a Tom Clancy like thing. It's really
yep,
weird. It's
yep.
very, very weird. Uh
So I don't really like Rainbow Six Siege because of the toxic community.
oh yeah, it's pretty bad. From
When I played it,
what
I
I've
got
heard.
kicked from the parties almost every time because people were like, "You're level 1. Why would I play with you?" So you can vote to kick the person. So everyone just voted. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, which is
Wow.
fine. Like whatever. Uh, so I would just play like practice and stuff, and like the game's fun. It is PvP, so like there's a big learning curve when it comes to shooters such as Rainbow Six,
Mhm.
Valorant, and CS:GO or any CS.
Yeah,
Um,
because I think at the time they were planning on making Siege like a competitive game, so I think that's why they really wanted to
it
do
is
the whole.
competitive,
So
or
yeah,
they
they
do
wanted.
have some competitive to it, I believe.
Yeah, because that's why they want to do the whole like talk to your teammates element.
Right,
Hmm.
which is again fine. Like Call of Duty has it, so I don't care if they have it. You
Yeah,
know.
Call of Dudes.
um, so Siege is fun, but Extraction Uh, it. Let me try to point out the things that I like about it. The gunplay is just like Siege, so the recoil is the same. You can tilt left and right.
Mm.
Um, you can prone. You can't jump, which is annoying. Only because it's PVE, not PvP. So like there are aspects where jumping would be beneficial.
Mhm.
um, but you know how you can like enhance walls with metal, like a metal wall.
Mhm.
Um, I just started doing that, and that's uh positive. Like it works, it's good. It holds like enemies back and stuff.
Mhm.
I think. So I think probably my favorite part of this whole thing is um if you lose, like if you go down, and your character would, like I'm using air quotes, die.
Mhm.
Um, there's this like safety precaution for any character. Um, that I'm pretty sure they explain. There's a lot of shit to read in that game. Like most of the story is readable.
Mhm.
Um, and what happens is you actually get encased in this like, uh,
Like this goo.
it's man. There's a like actual thing like physically. It's almost like insulation.
Mm.
Uh, but like foam. There's a
Okay.
foam insulation. I can't think of the name of it right now. But basically, like it just engulfs your body and like freezes you almost in like a stasis type scenario
Mm.
or situation or whatever. So let's say you die in a match. That happens. You lose. You go back. You actually lose level because that character is no longer there.
Mhm.
And what you have to do is that character is considered MIA. You can now not play that character. So you have to go back and retrieve that character
Mhm.
from the game. So you would go back in. You have to pull them out of this like I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but this like parasite type thing that's like holding your character, that character, whoever you were, then in this like pillar. But it's like living. It's this living thing that's holding it. So you have to grab them, pull them out of it, and then like there's a little thing where like you got to shoot these orbs that are coming to like embrace it to like make it more stronger to hold the character in there. And if you
Mhm.
shoot the orbs, of course it weakens it. Then you pull the character out again, shoot them again, then pull them out, and they're out. Uh, then you take them to the extraction zone because the game's named Extraction,
Oh
and
damn.
you put them in this little like case, which like keeps them protected, and you can either extract there or keep going to do more mission stuff. Um,
You know how you're explaining it actually seems pretty interesting and kind of sounds like it's in my wheelhouse of just dumb shooter shit.
See, I think this is what I'm saying. Like, I think people aren't appreciating the good parts of this game, and I
Mhm.
think that they're holding it to too high of a standard. Where it like, do I think this game is worth $40 or $60? Fucking absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
that's why it's been like
But
on sale for like a good while.
right, it's on sale for $20.
Mhm.
And when I saw that price, I was like, this is something that I've been thinking about and like for a while, ever since it was announced. I think like actually all of us watched E3, or maybe it wasn't E3 because
I think it was like some kind of. I think it was either the Game Awards or something of that.
yeah, there was like a mix of like games that had been announced, and
Yeah,
like this looked really cool when they announced it. But there was a lot of like, oh well, Rainbow Six, who knows, you know?
yeah. It was there was a lot of backlash because of the fact that like first of all it's a Tom Clancy game spinoff, which is like weird, but it involves aliens from Tom Clancy's like usual military like espionage kind of ordeal.
Yeah. By the way, I keep calling them zombies.
It's fine. It's okay. We're so used to that of like what to shoot. Um,
uh, it's so much fun, man, and it's not even like I'm not like having like an enormous enjoyable time, but it's like it's simple and
mhm.
it's
Like
doing
if the shooting in Siege is good and like it's in this, it's like you're gonna have a pretty alright time with it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like playing Call of Duty Zombies, only more tactical, and I like that. I would rather play more tactically than just mindlessly dumping clips into zombies.
Yeah, and then having the voiceover being like, bring me their souls, and it's like, all right.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's, that does
Yeah.
have a place in my essentially heart for that type of game, but
Yeah, because like the zombie stuff in Call of Duty feels more arcadey. Well, I'm assuming
yes.
from this, obviously you're saying it feels more tactical and feels more like you have to like understand your surroundings and stuff like that. Not to say zombies isn't
Yeah.
like that, but like still, like it's not as arcadey goofy as like that.
Yeah, there's a lot more like check your corners, do this, do this, do
Hmm.
this,
Hmm.
and it's I don't know. I've always enjoyed that type of game.
It's funny you
Um,
it's funny you mention that because like it's kind of reminding me of my time with GTFO. Because I played a little bit
yeah.
of
Wish
that
I could run on my computer, man.
yeah, like that was the thing is that like I was playing a little bit of it, but I couldn't really dig it for some reason. Like there was just something about it that I couldn't dig. And I was playing the tutorial for a little bit. Like it has some interesting ideas, but I just yeah, I couldn't dig it. And I think the other thing was that like I was thinking about it because like could I play this game solo? And I was looking at forums and stuff, and apparently like it's actually super hard to do by yourself. Like you really need people for that
Yeah,
game. So it's
yeah,
like, all right, that kind of like killed my interest a little bit.
yeah. I have no idea about this as far as solo. I have been playing solo.
Mm.
I've 100%ed the first area because it's easy. Um, there are different difficulty levels you can go through on. I haven't tried really hard yet. I've basically stayed on easy this entire time, just because like I want to have fun. I don't really want to like feel pressured to like try all that stuff. But there is like if you do try on harder, or different difficulty levels, there are better uh,
Re-
cosmetics to get.
Rewards and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly they're cosmetic. Um, Reward based things, basically like guns or uh, items, levels for your character, things that you could actually use in the game would be um sorry, what would they be? That was when you would want to go to harder things so you could level faster.
Okay. Okay. I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to try this. I would like to try it if you
I
got
think of the negative parts of this.
that buddy pass.
Uh I guess like the negative part is it is still just Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Because it's still part of that universe, but obviously it's a weird sci-fi spin-off.
so you could probably beat this really quickly. I think that might be the downside is there's not a lot of content. But what I do have to say is they did say all the DLC content is free. Um,
Okay, I mean
they
that's good at least.
they said they would add more stuff, and they did. Maybe when the game came out, it wasn't quite full, content full that like it should have been.
Hmm.
And again, with like a $40 or $60 price tag, it should be, because you're paying almost a full price game for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think it was 50 when it was launched.
yeah, I can't remember the price. It's definitely 40 right now, or it's 20
It's
right now,
20.
but I
Yeah,
think it's normally 40 now.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but the last thing I want to say about it is I didn't know when this came out because when I was buying it, I thought that I knew about it a year ago, which is almost right. It came out like the beginning of this year.
No
It
fucking
is
way.
very new.
No fucking way. Really?
Yes, it came out in 2020.
Why do I think it came out like last year?
Yep, that's exactly what I thought.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, I like oh, so we talked about this earlier that you tagged me in something for like what was my non Elden Ring Goatee by
Mhm.
shout outs to Michael Huber. Um And there was a lot of stuff that people were like pointing out, like Sifu was like another game where I was like, didn't that come out last year? And it's like, no, it came out fucking February of this year. And like,
Oh,
I was like, what? I was
yeah.
like, what? I don't get it. I'm like, it's weird. And then like I said, I'm looking through other people's like choices and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, here's this game that came out like literally this year. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out like literally like last month. It's very weird. I'm having a very weird time processing this shit.
Yeah, I feel like somebody had said something about ever since 2019,
Mhm.
2020, 2021, and 2022 are basically the same year.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah,
yeah. They
kind
kind
of
of
feels that way.
they blur lines to a point.
Yeah. Um,
Weird, so weird.
but
You just broke my mind right now.
dude, it it felt so weird to know to know it came out this year. It was so weird. So that's
Mhm.
another reason I think that like people shouldn't like put so much hate into this game right now, because like
Mhm.
it did just come out. They did say they would add more. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna add more. It might be already done what they did, and
Yeah.
maybe they don't feel like enough people are buying it to keep adding content, or enough people are playing it to add content. But the other
Yeah.
thing I'm very excited about is I saw that Ubisoft is doing a reveal of a bunch of stuff. September 10th and 11th, I think, or 9th through the 11th. I can't remember.
I know they have something coming up, which is like one of our topics. I think like this weekend or next weekend.
Uh,
But yeah, I don't know about like what you're saying. Maybe. You're probably right. Probably have like something else
I'm
to
just
talk about.
hopeful that they're gonna be like, by the way,
Here's more.
Extraction DLC.
Weren't they supposed to come out with a game, or aren't they coming out with another like Tom Clancy thing called X Defiant, some shit like that?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they are. Where it's supposed to be like this weird punk shooter. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's weird.
It see the thing I do agree with about as far as Tom Clancy shooters go is it's just really cookie cutter. It's always the same thing.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
you got those hidden gems with Tom Clancy. You know, you got like people obviously loving Splinter Cell because that's a stealth game. It's not necessarily a shooter.
yeah,
But then, you know, for like the longest time I was like super interested in Wildlands. Cuz
it was
like
a good. That was probably their
yeah,
better game.
but I've been like thinking about getting on a PC just to experience the 60 frames per
Oh
second.
my god, this guy.
Uh but, you know, then you have like you said, cookie cutter stuff where you had a Breakpoint, and like the
Uh,
biggest attraction for that was like John Bernthal, and that game ended up not being good. And
uh,
and then
the
the weird,
sorry. Man.
sorry, it's just the
It,
weird NFT shit like afterwards where they try to like make more profit off that game.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just like that game just kind of died after a good
Uh,
bit.
when they announced that game, I don't know if you remember, but the biggest difference between that and Wildlands to me was you could cover yourself in mud. Do you remember that in the trailers or no?
I don't remember like
You
Predator.
can dig yourself into the mud, wipe it all over your body, and like have people lose track of you.
I did not remember this.
It's so fucking dumb.
Like you're being
It was
hunted.
like one of their big things, and like I ate that shit up. To be fair, when they announced it, I was like, John
Yeah.
Barenthal, mud rubbing, love it.
It's like Predator, but with John Bernthal, with my
John
Punisher
John
going,
Barenthal is the predator.
going.
Um,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah.
You're in here with me. Uh,
Um, yeah. So like, that's the main thing I've been playing.
mm,
I sadly crawled back to Destiny a little bit. Uh, I did the raid. I did a dungeon,
mhm.
and then I bought this game and stopped playing Destiny because this game's better.
You're like I'm having more fun over here. I mean, that's
It's
fair.
really fucking disappointing to be like it is better, but it's better.
Okay. I mean, yeah. If you're having fun with another thing, I don't see why not. You know,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
yeah, not to continue the fun. Okay.
Oh, uh, Pokemon Unite.
Oh my god.
Yep. Started playing another MOBA.
Oh my god, the Pokemon League game. I can't believe this.
My friend is obsessed with this game, and he's like, he plays ranked matches. He's like, whatever the fucking highest thing in there is, master or whatever, he is like on their highest tier.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
And we always go back and forth like, who's a better MOBA player? Because I play League, he plays that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And to be real, like, League's a real MOBA. That's a trash kid game. Like, of course he's not better than me.
Wow.
Just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
And he got me to play finally today. So I have played it. It is not better than League. It is somewhat enjoyable. You can kind of just mindlessly play it. There's really no like.
I think the question is, does it feel more like a simplistic version of League?
I feel like a simplistic version of League. Yes.
Okay.
It's a lot more simplistic. The matches are capped at 10 minutes, so you can't go over that. Whereas League tend to be 20 to 45-minute matches.
God damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I mean,
I like League.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I guess in the sense, like, I think this was like mostly marketed for like new players, so I guess 10 minutes makes sense in a way.
This is marketed towards children.
Obviously.
Children don't have huge attention spans.
That too. I was about to say that too. It was just like, yeah, you're trying to market it to kids who are like, I want to play the Pikachu, and it's like,
there's a lot of times my friend will be like, I'm fucking losing and I can't believe it, and I'm like, yeah, you're playing with kids. Like, that's why. And he's like, no, these are adults. And I'm like, it's not.
I feel like they're kids. It's like the same thing.
Like, there's definitely adults.
Bro, like, the first time I went back to Fortnite to play like a good bit, I was like, how the fuck am I in the 11th place? And then I died because I was flubbing up my controls. But I was like, even then, I flubbed up my controls, and it was like, what, out of like fucking 50 people? I'm somehow in fucking 11th? Yeah. I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking, like, oh, it's probably because they're kids. It's mostly because they're probably kids. So, I mean, I got to do the call me a mama, so I'm cool with that.
Oh my god. The Super 19 Goku.
He's going Super Saiyan.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Saiyan. So.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I don't know. That game's okay. It's something I'll play definitely with him, but like on my own, I don't think I'll go out of my way to play it.
Okay.
God, I can't remember the name of this game. I didn't play this game, but I found a game called like I Think Your Dead Grandmom's Hot. And it's a PlayStation game. And it's actually just like a video that you watch, I think. And it has a platinum trophy. I don't know. I was just like going through the store while I was talking to friends, and I had just ran across it, told them, one of them bought it, and he was like, it's terrible, but it's platinumable. And I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna put $3 into it for a platinum, honestly.
And
like,
then you
maybe one day, but not now.
And then you put $3 into it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
There'll be a sale where it's 50 cents, and I'll do that.
Oh Jesus, yeah. The weird like back end of the PlayStation Store is I'm too scared to look because there's just an abundance of crazy shit on there.
It's jam full of this creator that makes these games called Something Run. So like Taco Run, Pickle Run, Hamburger Run, Pizza Run. You've seen all those, right?
Yes.
Like, it's cool to have like indie developers making games, but that's somebody that's just copying.
I think I would assume a lot of indie developers really hate that shit because it just puts like a bad like.
Yeah, for sure, and
just a bad thing in the air.
It's like $2 to $5 for those games, which is like, it's phone games. Why are you have those on the console? Go away.
It's funny you mentioned that because like right now there's indie sale going on PlayStation, and like there's all these indie games, and I'm like, man, like this one was good, this one's good, and like I gotta try this one out, and then then you have this at like the fucking back end, where it's like here's I don't know, Bird Run, and it's like why
Birdo, the
Birdo,
runner.
yeah it. Yeah, that whole shit is weird. But like that also goes for like the Xbox like indie arcade shit. That was also like a crazy amount of like people doing weird hentai games almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't get away with what Steam has on here, but
Oh my god, Steam's a whole other story.
mhm.
God, you play College Kings? I think that's what it's called.
No.
Oh, you played that game where you're roommates with weird 3D models of supposed Korean women? I don't know how the fuck I remember that. You ever play Mirror? Oh god. Yeah. So, okay. So what else did you do? Moving on from that, what else did you do?
I think. Oh, hmm.
Hmm.
Sorry. There is a one league thing I want to talk about.
Oh.
It's not like
Excuse
I
me.
don't know, super important or anything, but it's just something I was thinking about. Um, so I watch Pro League Legends, and this player, uh, he's on a team called Evil Geniuses. He is known to be one of the best ADCs of all time. Well, not all time, but
He's up there.
he's fresh, and he's really fucking good, and he's currently one of the highest kill participants in the game in the pro league right now. So anyways, he's really good at the game. His team's great, and they played against a couple of teams, lost against one, and then won against everyone. But they looked horrible doing it the entire time, and I was just like really wondering the whole time. I was like, it's really weird. When you watch, there are cameras so you can see the players' faces, and all of them had emotion except for the Danny guy, the ADC. And I was just like, wow, it's weird that this guy is just like, it's almost like he's depressed. Like I don't understand what's going on, and you could see like in his playing that he wasn't like playing fully. At least it didn't seem like it. And then I watched recently a thing about like they'll release like their communication, like them talking while they're playing. Um, so you can see like what their callouts are, how they do it, how to like groove with each other and shit. And you can see he's not talking at all. He doesn't really seem focused on the game. I mean, he's definitely playing because he has to, right? He's there, he's playing. Anyways, so fast forward, they make it to Worlds. They're gonna be there coming up, and right now going to Chicago this weekend. Their team is going to play against two other teams, and then whoever wins is the North America winner. And then from there, in I think October, uh, people from Korea, I think Mexico, uh, other places everywhere, right? UK, Russia, all that stuff. Probably not Russia, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I get you.
So all the teams are going to come to America this year for Worlds. And it was just announced, I think, yesterday that the player that I was talking about, Danny, he was like stepping down from playing. And I was like, oh, it's really weird. And apparently, like, it's mental health related. And I was just like, man, that's super weird. That like he doesn't feel well enough to play. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. And I mean, I don't see anybody online like really shitting on him or anything. Most people are really positive about it. I also like tend to like follow the people that are positive versus the people that are negative because I just don't like negativity and shit.
Yeah, you don't tell him go back and do help the jungler. Go back, get in there.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure people like probably say things like that, or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
comments on stuff.
because like the one thing I can think of is that like, oh, you have an easy job, kid. Like you can like it's just a video game, bro. And it's like, but like there's more to a person than just that. Obviously, like he
Yeah,
probably has
but
some like personal stuff going on that like he doesn't want to talk about.
yeah, that's one thing that it could definitely be. It could definitely be personal stuff.
Mm.
Um,
But you want it, but you want him to help that jungler.
Well, no.
Okay.
So what I was thinking is there's actually a lot of toxicity in League.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I know. I know you know.
Oh yeah. That's why I avoid that shit like the plague.
But I'm wondering if like because they lost at some point, which it didn't mean they fully lose because they still have a chance to make it, and they did. It just was harder. But I wonder if like them losing, people were being like, "Oh, you guys fucking suck. What are you doing? Like, you used to be good. What's happening?" You know, stuff like that. Because people do say shit like that all the time. I don't know. It's a weird thing. The one thing I will say positive about this is I was watching and his mom was there. Like his mom, his sister, like all his family shows up and watches him play. He's super young. I think he's like 19.
Wow.
And you could just hear his fucking mom yelling, and they put the camera on her, and she's like, "Go, daddy!" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, mom, that's super awesome."
That's great. That's great that he has a supportive family.
No, yeah, it's super cool, man. I love seeing stuff like that. And they actually interviewed his mom at some point, like for the during the game, and they were like, "Aren't you proud of your son?" And she's like, "Of course, blah blah, whatever."
I can only think about like the other wholesome thing I saw was I think Hotashi playing Guilty Gear, and like he won that tournament, and his grandma like came in and was like, "Oh, you did it!" And you know they were celebrating. It was like super. It was like really wholesome. Either it was his grandma or his mom.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, man.
Yeah, yeah. It was nice to see.
The only other thing about that also was when he did win, he fucking started crying, dude, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I can only imagine like how that feels because like
you did it.
Yeah, it. So the
I was about
people
to say,
that like
how would you think I feel if I would win Evo? Be like, how the fuck did I do this?
I think you would be losing your fucking mind.
I would
like, you
lose.
fucking bitches, I'm so good.
I was like, how do I do this? How did I fucking do this? Yeah. I would like to participate, but yeah, that's just I don't know. That's not happening anytime soon. I'd have to go to fucking Vegas for that shit.
I mean, if there's a bunch of me's playing, then you'll definitely win.
Yeah. No, that's mean.
But there are like if you watch the Super Bowl, you've watched Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Before, okay. I would assume you've seen some of them cry when they win.
Yeah. Because it's like the biggest event in their lives, so it's like
they're fucking like losing their minds. Like we worked so hard, we made it. It's you know.
We're going to Disney
like
World.
Watching it, and I was like, I know people are gonna make fun of him for this, but like, it really is like this is what they work for.
Yeah.
All day for the fucking year.
They don't touch any other video games.
It's like if your boss came up to you and was like, "I'm gonna give you $100,000 for making that sale last week or whatever bonus
and a promotion."
Like, oh my god!
Yeah, and a promotion.
Me and my wife are gonna go bang on Florida's beaches.
Yeah, with all the old people.
Yeah,
you know it.
Gonna watch.
Yeah, disgusting.
Get off my lawn. Yeah. Anyways, I love League. I had a lot of fun watching. Feel bad for the kid. Hope he's doing well. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, everything is pretty cool. Didn't watch a lot. Pretty much played R6 Extraction. That's it.
Okay, that's fair. That sounds like a good time. You found a new game that you kind of enjoy.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Yeah. I guess for me then, I guess I'll start with what I played because like with what I watched, I obviously it was the Resident Evil show. So I want to have a whole discussion about that.
Yeah.
I tried watching Johnny Mnemonic.
Huh.
Um, yeah, it's on Netflix. Because I was like, the plot seems really similar to Cyberpunk, and like that is the most '90s movie that's ever '90s the '90s. Uh, but that's I haven't finished it yet. A movie I did finish was RRR, the Indian movie I was talking about, like I think like
I need to
last
watch
week.
that. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I learned the difference that it's not a Bollywood movie, it's Tollywood, which is like its own separate thing. But
Okay.
that movie is just crazy. It is crazy, but I enjoyed it. Would I say it's a movie that like I would recommend to people? I mean, if you love like absurd shit, then yeah, like the action stuff in that was absurd, but it was super enjoyable. There were moments in fight scenes where I was like, "That's so dumb," but that's actually pretty fucking cool. Yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. I would recommend, but it's 3 hours, man. It's fucking 3 hours, and then it ends with a fucking musical number. It is Gonzo. So yeah, RRR. Um, but yeah, for what I played, I'm still playing a little bit of Lords of the Fallen. I know we talked about it last week that like
Oh.
Lords of the Fallen is an interesting Souls-like game. Um, because it tries to do like some mechanical differences where it's like a risk and reward kind of thing. The only thing that is making me like kind of hesitant on it is the combat because of how sluggish it is. Because like your wind up animations take for fucking ever to like hit something. But I have to remember that like this was like the first, well, kind of the first iteration of a Souls like game. Uh, so it was trying to do something at least somewhat different. But yeah, like the combat is incredibly clunky. But I'm still going through it. Like I'm not trying to play it like, immediately. I'm just taking my time with it. Because there are moments where like I feel like I get more frustrated with it than a Souls game. Because of how slow the wind up is for the animation of like you hitting somebody. But another Souls like game that I uh am returning to is Neo, the first one. Because on PSN I've been seeing that the season pass for Neo 2 is up, and I forgot I have the fucking like collector's version, not collector's, but like the special edition version of Neo 2, and it comes with the season pass voucher. And like I should really submit this because I'm looking at the expiration date. The expiration date is like March of 2023. I was like, yeah, I gotta fucking put this shit in before I forget. But I was like, I gotta finish Neo 1 because like I've had the DLC for a while. But I mentioned before that like Neo 1's the path to the DLC expansion is the most bizarre like upscaling of difficulty that I've seen in a game. I don't know if you remember from what I've said, but basically to TLDR it is um essentially the game expects you to have already played New Game Plus because the difficulty for the for the DLC is like somewhat New Game Plus ish. It is really weird. It's like I already beat this game. I got the DLC, and the DLC fucking whoops the fuck out of you. And then I was looking on obviously forums and shit. I was like, is this meant to be this hard? And it's like, yeah, like you have to like actually like play through the main missions of New Game Plus, and then you were able to have like a decent level to take on the DLC. Um, but the thing is that I was looking up guides and shit, and basically like you have to mostly worry about your equipment and shit like that because now divine gear is like a thing that the game is really pushing forward to make you um ready for the DLC shit. So divine gear is the stuff that you have to look into, and then the whole thing of like combining equipment for divine gears, like there's this whole thing that like of upgrading like your gear and shit that I was just like oblivious to when playing Neo, where I was like, holy shit, like this is one of the most in-depth like leveling up of fucking gear and shit, while in like fucking Dark Souls all you had to do was just get like a like a titanite shard or a stone, and then just use that to upgrade your stuff. And like you need like 5 titanite stones and you get it to +2 and shit like that. But no, with Neo it's like you need a +1 of divine gear with another +1 in order to get +2, but in order to get a +3 you need a +2 with a +2, and then you get a +3, and then so on and so forth. So it's like Jesus fucking Christ. But then you can also like you can also forge weapons and gear and stuff like that, but there's a huge RNG factor to that, where it's like some people are just saying that like sometimes it can be kind of hard to get something that you want because it just doesn't work out because it's randomized. And it's like, damn, like that shit kind of like bummed me out. But I think just to basically sum it up is that I actually did beat the final boss of that first DLC, and that was the thing that I got stuck on in Neo, where I just completely like stopped for a good bit. I had to, when I started Neo back up, I was like, all right, I got to get back into the rhythm because that game is very different when it comes to its combat. And yeah, it just took me a while to get used to the boss and then actually beat it, because like there's some bullshit that happens with that boss. And it's hilarious to think that like people talk about like Elden Ring and like Dark Souls and shit like that like those games are super hard. I feel like
Yeah.
Neo is like the hardest Souls like you can play.
You
It is
think?
I believe so, because the combat is not Dark Souls. It's not like you rolling and you know, using a shield and shit like that. It is 3D Ninja Gaiden. If you ever played Ninja Gaiden Black on Xbox, it is that fast-paced combat where you're having fucking like ninjas flying all over the place and shit like that. But in like a Souls-like perspective.
What do you think the easiest Souls game was?
Probably Stranger of Paradise.
Take that out of the equation.
Take out Stranger of Paradise?
Yeah.
Easiest Souls like.
Do you think it's Sekiro?
No, Sekiro is pretty difficult, but
Really? Okay.
Sekiro has its own neat system where it's essentially like like a comeback kind of thing. Because
Hmm.
like the main like objective of that game's combat is you have to be on the defensive. It is the most defensive game you have to play, where you parry all your enemies' attacks, and then their their bar goes up every time you parry, and then when it goes to full is your opportunity to do a kill, because you don't necessarily have to kill the enemy, you just have to get that bar all the way up, and then you do the first like specific main hit and their life just goes away. Because that's why
Okay.
if you see Sekiro and you fight a boss, you see that there's 2 little circles above their health bar, and that is basically like the main thing that you have to get rid of for that boss.
Okay.
But Sekiro is fast. It is one of those things where obviously it's learn from that. But with Neo is, like I said, it's one of those things where if you're used to the Ninja Gaiden combat from the 3D games, you kind of have an idea of what combat you're getting into. But like I said, there's some bullshit that you could just get into that fucking game when it comes to bosses. Um, the final boss for this first DLC, her bullshit was she has like a an unavoidable grab. Well, it's an avoidable grab, but it's unblockable. Where she like teleports towards you and like does the grab, and but you have to like dodge away from it. Because it's your only way of doing it. And but if she gets you, for me, it was like half my health, and it's just like fuck, like that's a really bad start to that fight. Where it's like I have like 5, like health potions, or I think they call it elixirs, and it's like I got to use one already, like at the start of the fight, and it's like I want to save it for later on, because eventually when you get to halfway is where they kind of do like a phase change, kind of. where for this particular boss, by the way, is the name Maria. And like I said, when I went on the forums and shit like that, there was this one guy that was like talking about how like he hated the fucking DLC, and he's like, "Can we talk about?" He was making like uh uh like a comparison with Bloodborne with Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, where he was like, "Can we talk about Lady Maria in the in the Astral storehouse? Because you fight her in like a small ass storehouse. It is goofy, but like I said, it's one of those like boss fights where it's like you have to be like really on your feet. This game like really wants you to like be aware of like what your surrounding is, how you're gonna fight this boss. Do you have the right equipment for this? And it's like you really have to be on your toes. Yeah, Neo is an interesting thing because when I was playing Stranger of Paradise, the combat to Stranger of Paradise is similar to Neo, but it is uh at least you have the ability to change difficulty. That is the one nice thing about Stranger of Paradise, where it's like you're able to change it just to the easy mode. But with Neo, it's like when you start the game, you're stuck at that difficulty, and you have to like ramp it up, basically.
Yeah, most games are usually like that, I think.
Yeah, most Souls like games are like that. Neo it's hard. Um, it's funny because like playing Lords of the Fallen, it's hard because of the animations that take too long to actually make contact with the enemy. That's the only frustrating part of that game. But with Neo is that like it is a fast game. It is fucking fast. Enemies are fast. Your character can be fast, but like you have to deal with the onslaught of like enemies doing like fucking like whipping attacks and shit like that. And then you have the bosses, obviously, where sometimes there are bosses that just like do like you have to fight two bosses at once, and this is a game that like it's already too fucking fast, and you have to like keep an eye on one boss while you have another boss like zipping and zooming all over the place like on the other side, and you have to like watch out for them, because like Dark Souls had this where it's like you fight two bosses, but they're like one is like fast and the other one is like sluggish, but one hits hard and the other one's fast. But you can obviously like kind of pace it out and stuff like that. But with Neo, it's like nah, like you have to be fucking aware of like, okay, I have my sights on this one boss. Oh fuck, this other boss just fucking disappeared from my periphery. I gotta figure out where the fuck he is. Um, yeah, I would say look at gameplay of Neo to understand what I'm talking about, because
I think I own both of them.
I remember you said your brother was getting it. And I was like, God damn, he's in for a fucking trip. Like the base game of Neo is fun. But that, like I said, the DLC is like something a lot of people in that community were like really mixed about because of like the difficulty scaling. Where some people were just like, yeah, I just enjoy the difficulty of the game, and it's just like I had no problem with it. And then you have other people that are like, nah, fuck this shit. Like, I don't understand why it's so hard. Like enemies like do some bullshit. Yeah, like it is crazy to think about. But like I said,
Ultimate Salterton.
yeah, it is a game that can legitimately make you salty because it's just like, oh, like I dodged this, but I still got hit. Like I thought I had some iframes on that, and it's like, nah, you didn't. You didn't have
Maybe
any
you should
iframes.
use your eyes and figure out the frames,
Yeah,
bitch.
be on your tiptoes for them iframes, you dumb slow bitch. And it's just like, thanks, Neo. Um, so yeah, those are two Souls games that I've gotten back into. I'm planning to play the second part of the DLC expansion.
Are you excited for that's what I wanted to ask you actually. Well, yeah, are you excited for DLC for part 2 or game 2? And did the DLC for game 2 just come out, or you just found out about it?
No, the season pass for Neo 2 has been out for a good while. Like it's on sale for like $9 now, but I have the voucher for it.
Right.
So I got to do that, and it has a free PS5 upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I get to look forward to that. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's just like I bought the fucking thing for Neo 1, and I want to get through it to actually have an opinion about the whole thing. Like I said, I have an opinion about it as of now, because of the fact of that fucking difficulty scaling being like, nah, bitch, go back and play New Game Plus. Like, you really got to do that. And it's like, damn. That's the thing that like really killed me at the start of the DLC, where it's like you played this game through almost through its entirety. Go back and replay the story shit. The good thing is that at least
I'll go back.
yeah, the good thing is that like you're able to like skip the fucking cutscenes, or like the cutscenes don't even play out on its own, because the story in Neo is like so minimal that like it's like almost not important.
Oh.
But uh but like I said, the fun aspect of it is the gameplay itself, because it is so different. But it is fast and it will fuck you up. Um, yeah, it's interesting because it's like I said, like when I think about Sekiro is also fast, but at least you have like a comeback mechanic in a way. Well, with Neo, it's like you really have to be concentrated on your stamina meter, because your stamina meter is like the biggest thing you should really worry about, because you're able to recover your stamina meter if you pressed R1 to regain it back. Like there are some moves that you can unlock that allows you to do a stamina regain after you switch your weapon style and stuff like that. So like there's like interesting mechanics that are all tied to your stamina bar. Yeah. So Neo. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Neo too, because obviously I've seen a little bit of gameplay from Maximilian Dude, and like what I've seen of Neo 2 is like, oh yeah, it's Neo, but like there's some interesting parts to it where I feel like they changed a little bit of the gameplay, because I think I played the beta for it for a good bit, and they have a thing where you can do like a cool like devil trigger like parry. Like you have a devil trigger in that game.
Oh.
Yeah, it is like Neo 2 is wild. And then, on top of that, the other thing is Wolong. So Wolong looks cool because it's a game based in like a fantasy China setting, but its focus is its combat, obviously. And like you're doing fucking like martial arts and like flips and shit, and I'm like, okay, that looks cool. Like compared to Neo, where Neo looks so bare bones compared to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing that. Another game that I just played on a whim, because I think Wario 64 put out an update saying that a PS5 upgrade was available. Was What Remains of Edith Finch?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
That's old.
so it just got a PS5 upgrade, and if you got it for PS Plus, it is free.
I think I have it, yeah.
Yeah. So I played it. I didn't know what it was. I've only heard that like it got like some awards. I think like some BAFTA awards,
Uh-huh.
for its writing. It is a kind of an anthology kind of thing that happens. Basically the central plot is this girl goes back to her old family house, and she talks about how her family was like incredibly superstitious about this curse that they have, that a lot of her family members died from like very tragic uh incidents. And as you explore around the house, like you look into the life of like each family member that lived in that house, and basically what happened to them afterwards, or like what they were experiencing towards the end of their life.
That's kind of terrifying.
It is one of those things where I was like, god damn, like it's just tragedy that happens in that fucking game. Just tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And then you get the end of the game, and it's like the biggest fucking thing where I was just like, wow, I did not think about that through its entirety. But I don't want to really spoil it, because like I said, it is free on for the upgrade on PS Plus, and if you have it, that's great. I would say play it, because it's like I beat it within like 2 hours. And like I said, it's just one of those like narrative experiences where you're just playing, and like it does like so many interesting things for like each character story. I'm trying to think of like the one that I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. Oh, you're doing like a like fantasy novel kind of thing for one family member, where like he's having like his own like pick your own adventure kind of thing, almost like a storybook aspect. And it's like this interesting thing where they're doing like little neat like themes and stuff like that for each family member. So I would say that it's a recommend for playing. Yeah, if you got 2 hours to kill, I recommend What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, only 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours.
That's not bad. All right.
Yeah.
I think I started it a while ago. Just never actually like followed through
Follow
playing
through.
it.
I would
Yeah.
say also another thing that would really help with a lot of context for like a lot of family members is that like once you're in their room, try to search for everything. For the first family member, I fucked up because I only did like the main part
Mhm.
and I didn't explore their room and I already progressed far enough where I couldn't go back into the room. So I was like, ah, fuck. So I took that to heart and I was like, all right, for each family member, I'm just gonna like look at every little specific thing that I can find that I can interact with that gives me more context uh to the family member. So yeah, good. Well, how do you call it? Like good? It's just like kind of depressing at times because it's like, goddamn, just tragedy just hits every fucking moment. And yeah, and the last thing is Cyberpunk.
All
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, so I got the rest of the endings. I got all the trophies for Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Um, there were hitches that I had to deal with. Which there's a part of me that wants to do like a full review of Cyberpunk, like I did for Days Gone, because
Mhm.
there's so much I want to talk about with Cyberpunk. But basically, from my experience, is that like obviously this particular version has its issues because some bugs are still in this version of Cyberpunk, which is unfortunate. Um, I talked about last week that there was a progression bug where a specific character was like, "All right, I'll call you." And then for me in real time, it took fucking 2 days to figure that shit out and a forum to be like, "Yeah, you got to go do this because sometimes a bug would just happen where he just doesn't call you." And I'm like, "That's bad." Like I would have never figured that out because it just got to a point where I was like, "He's not calling me for some reason. It's taking a while." Um, so that happens. And there was one particular trophy that I almost had the same issue with where another progression bug happened, where it was essentially to collect all the purchasable cars in the game, which is also another weird thing. Like the game doesn't really have like it has like a racing mission that spans for like 3 missions and then that's it. Other than that, there's no like racing afterwards. So like
Oh.
cars feel a little weird in that game.
Okay.
Like some of them don't really control great. I think it's also because of the fact that like they try to do like a pedal like feel with like the dual sense triggers. Um
I
and
was used to only using I think the one card they give you.
uh
Do you think like certain cards feel different, or is it all
oh yeah,
cars?
some cars actually go like way fucking fast and then some
Okay.
like feel like bulky fucking machines.
Yeah, I'll never
Um
finish that game,
but
but
like I said with the dual sense triggers, they try to do the feeling of you pushing down on a pedal and
uh-huh.
then, when you press the brake, it feels like there's some tension, when you're pushing down on the brake. But like I said, there are moments where like it just doesn't feel good because there'll be times where like I'm pushing on the brakes and like sometimes the brakes will just go it goes too slow and like I'm trying to make like a corner turn and yeah, it's like little wonky shit with like the actual driving of the car. But like I said, for this particular trophy that I was trying to get, it was I was missing like 3 cars from a specific spot in the world and I was like, why hasn't this popped up? And I'm obviously went back to forums and I was like, did anyone else find this bug? And there were a lot of people that are like, yeah, for some reason, um, there are specific characters in like each sector of the map that give you gigs or like side missions and stuff like that. That usually are
Mm.
your contacts to be like, hey, I got a car that if you're interested in, come out, go get the car, and that's it. So this one particular part, this character contacted me like only like twice for 2 cars. And then I had like I was saying is that like there was 3 other cars that I just they're not popping up on the map. And I was like, the fuck? So like I said, I had to go to forums. There was this whole fucking thing where I had to go find the guy in person, talk to him for a bit, drive around, and then eventually it eventually happened where he sent me a text message saying, "Oh yeah, I got these cars that are ready for sale." And I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? What the actual fuck?" So like I said, there's stuff in that game that not only is it progression stuff that can fuck you up when it comes to bugs, but there's also stuff that, like, if you're like trophy hunting or you're like an achievement hunter, there's bugs that happen where it's just like you gotta look that shit up because you might not be able to get the trophy. But like I said, luckily I was able to get all the trophies. That's it. So I put Cyberpunk off to the side, I put it in my hard drive, and I was like, all right, good. It's in my hard drive. And then an update happened. So one of our things for this week, I guess just to talk about it, just to get something off. Cyberpunk is getting a story DLC, like next year, I think it said.
Yeah.
Because Keanu Reeves will come back as Johnny Silverhand.
Keanu, he will let you fuck him.
He's come back with his cock. So this update came out, and like basically for the update, it's like, oh, now you can do cool neon lights on your motorcycles. There's new weapons, there's new blades.
Wait a second, neon lights? Isn't that gonna break the game?
Surprisingly, it has not broken the game. The other things that were of note was there's transmogging in the game where you can take like a specific outfit that you like and wear it over because like, you know how I was talking about how like you look like an asshole because like you just put stuff on that like is supposed to be your armor, and you
look like a trash monster.
You look like an idiot. So now the transmog fixed that, where it's like you have the stuff underneath the layer of the outfit that you want to actually have. So like the so transmogging is transmogging, and it's fun. It's good. It's a good update. And then
sorry, you said transmogging is transmogging.
Yeah, transmogging is transmogging. So the next thing that was the biggest one where I was like, fuck, now I gotta put fucking Cyberpunk back on my hard drive. Was Edge Runners. So they're promoting Edge Runners in that. So besides Edge Runners, they had like a whole thing of like gigs. Like there was like 3 additional gigs that you can do, and I went to go do the gigs. They were okay. They were fun. One of them was like a chase sequence where you had to shoot out the window, which I forgot was a whole thing that you can do in the game. Because there were so many, I don't know if like any, because I didn't really do any of the other side missions, which there was a part of me when I finished like most of the stuff that I was interested in for the update, I was like, I kind of want to do some of the side quests and stuff like that, see how those pan out. So I'm probably gonna finish up the side quests and stuff like that, since I don't really have to do like trophy hunting and shit.
You platinum, right?
Yeah, I platinum the game. But like I said, I just want to do the side quests and stuff like that just to see how they pan out.
No, yeah.
Because like I like the writing in the game itself. Like the writing's good, the world building is good. Like there's a lot of good stuff. It's just the actual performance and gameplay of the actual game itself where it's a fucking mess. At times. And yeah, so like I said, the biggest thing of the update was Edge Runners, because Edge Runners is coming out the 15th, right? This year? On Netflix.
I don't Oh, the show?
Yes, the anime show.
That's what the show's called, okay.
Edge Runners, yeah, Cyberpunk Edge
Get
Runners.
Get ready for full frontal nudity of our favorite Matrix man.
Yeah.
Johnny Silvercock.
His cock is silver cock. Wake up, samurai! It's my cock. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
There's definitely a porn of that.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. There definitely is. So yeah, for the Edge Runners shit, there was basically like a side mission where you just find this like little thing in that world. There's a thing called like brain dancing, where it's like a memory fragment of people where you can like kind of see their stuff. So it's basically the brain dance is like a teaser for like the first episode of Edge Runners. And I'm like, God damn, like this show looks gonzo and I'm fucking digging it. Like,
it looks so good,
dude. Just that teaser sequence was the coolest shit, because like, basically it's this cyber psycho that like has like military like upgrade augments, and like he's doing this fucking cool ass shit where I'm pretty sure you saw in the teaser trailer where like you see the dude like dashing behind the cops and like shooting them, like each one of them like doing like a shadow step kind of. Uh, and it's just like god damn, and like the fucking violence in it, and it's like holy shit. Like this is what I kind of envisioned Cyberpunk as, but like the game does have its moments of like being really fucked. But like Edge Runners takes it to a whole new level of just like anime fucked upness. Um
Do they collect the 7 Dragon Balls?
I'm hoping they do. But yeah, basically at the end of that teaser, there's a little like thing that happens at the end where it's like it talks about the main character of Edge Runners. His name is David Martinez. And then you're like, who the fuck is David Martinez? And then you have a contact that you talk to, and you ask him like, hey, do you know anything about this guy by the name of David Martinez? And he's like, oh yeah, he's like that was something like a little bit like before my time and your time. Like he was like a dude that like his story was like similar to yours, and I'll try to dig in deeper. So then you wait a little bit for the contact to tell you what's going on, and then you get contacted by somebody else that I'm assuming is a part of that show. That's like, what do you want to know about David? And you send him a text back being like, I just want to figure out like this whole shit with him, what happened to him. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about David. Like, David's long gone. So basically it's a teaser to be like, you interested in David's story? Watch the show on Netflix. So and then yeah, after that, basically your prize at that is you get David's jacket from the anime.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, that looks pretty sweet. And then on the back it says ER for Edge Runners, and I'm like, that's cool. I dig that.
You don't want the jacket that says samurai.
Samurai. I get
samurai.
Samurai Silvercock. And it's like, yeah, I guess I'll put Samurai Silvercock on my jacket. Yeah, Cyberpunk is a interesting thing. I'm interested in that story DLC. Obviously because it's like, when the fuck is this supposed to take place? Because like I said, I went through like all the endings, and the endings really felt definitive. So the other thing I want to mention is I got the other endings. So I found out there is another secret ending that happens, but it was not part of the trophy listing. So I just didn't know about it. But essentially the outcome of it is similar to another ending. So it's like, is it really a secret? Yes and no. Because the only way you're able to get it is when you're at the point of no return, you're having a conversation with Johnny to like to storm the end area. You're hesitating for a really long time, and it gets to a point where Johnny just cuts in and he's like, you're having a hard time thinking, right? And he's like, well, how about we take this fucking city into our own hands, and then you go storm the fucking thing by yourself.
Danny.
Yeah, Janny. So yeah, there's like secret endings and stuff like that. I went back to save that character that I didn't know I could save before. I got to experience basically the same ending, but with this character come in and basically ease the pain for you in a way. And it was neat to see that. It was really cool to have this like little different variations of different endings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, the writing for Cyberpunk is pretty good. It's goofy, but I like it. I like the world. I like the lore. I like how fucked up this like dystopian future of corporations and the people are, where it's like they talk about like animals that just like have died. Like there's a whole conversation that like you have with a character. It's like, oh yeah, like birds and dogs died off, but like cats somehow, like some of them are just like around for a good bit because you see a cat there. Yeah, like I said, there's just interesting stuff about that world that's just like it's a super fucked world.
I mean, most of it sounds interesting for what you talk about, though.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those interesting ideals of just like nihilism, where it's like essentially your main character, is a mercenary, and you're having conversations with other people being like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, like, and this and that. And he's like, why the fuck should I care about this city? I like basically, the city like chews you up and spits you out. Like, fuck the corporations, fuck this. Like, they fucked everything over. Like, it's essentially the punk in you that's trying to come out and be like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna let society like try to, fuck me over.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's that sense of like punk and nihilism of like sometimes you're just like where we've gotten to the point of just being so fucked that it's like why should I care about anybody else?
Yeah.
There was a neat thing that was like kind of horrifying as well. I don't know, I think I mentioned it maybe last week, but like there's this group of there's this gang that's like the super freak psychos who fucking like uh cyber like augmented themselves where like they have more robot than human. Like they look creepy. They're called the Maelstrom. You've probably seen a couple of them where like a dude's whole face, like his whole like eyes are just like gone, and it's all like cybernetic, like weird spider-like eyes. It's like really creepy.
Gross.
Um, but they talk about because there was this like one like side mission that I did where like this monk was just like scarred to shit. I was just like he looked awful, and you know you talk to him and you're like, yo, your augments look really really poorly done. He's like, we're like, why did you go to this doctor? And he's like, nah, I didn't go to this doctor. I got fucking kidnapped by these assholes that just put augments incorrectly into me for fun. And it's like, whoa, like that is fucked. Like that is fucked beyond belief. And basically the side quest is like, hey, I need you to save my brother, like my because he was taken, and I fear for the fact that like, you know, he's going to get the same treatment I got, where they're gonna try to fuck him up internally. Um, and, you know, you're talking, like I said, you're talking to this monk, and you're having this talk with him, where also there's also the religious aspect of it, where they don't believe in augmenting themselves cybernetically, but other religions have like kind of integrated it. I think they talk about like Christians like accepting the fact that like yeah, augments can be a part of God and stuff like that. Like there's just weird interesting like lore stuff when it comes to that, but that specific like thing, you know, of like you getting kidnapped and these assholes just for fun decide to put funky shit in you because it's like haha, look at this weirdo, is like so like horrifying to me because it's like oh man, it's fucked. It is fucked. Yeah, like I said, there's moments in those games where like the writing is like really well done and the lore is really well done, but I would assume it took a while because with the patches and shit like that. So the game is ever updating. But here's hoping that I'm hoping for the DLC to actually be pretty good, because it seems interesting in the fact that like I guess it has to do with the US government, and the US government hasn't really been a huge part of the Cyberpunk world from what I played.
From what I saw from the trailer, it looked like she joined the cops. So yeah.
I guess, but like I said, like the government is pretty much owned by the corporations, so it's like
Well, it's time to be a police officer.
pew
So
pew silver cock.
any of that was in that video could be fake ass shit that you're seeing from something else or this or that, you know.
Or it
Who
could be
knows what
like, or it
it's
could
all
be
about.
just a thing that like, oh, this happened like in between your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Because like I said, how that game ends, it's like there's very definitive choices of like how you can end the game. But once you pick those definitive choices, the game essentially throws you back into like before you make the point of no return. So that you could basically experience like the different options of endings you have. So yeah, Cyberpunk. Like I said, there's a part of me that wants to do like a full in-depth review of the game. But I have to put time into that. So who knows whenever I'll do that. Probably, I don't know. Because like I said, there's also the expansion that's coming out and stuff like that. But probably I'll just do it for like the base game, and then I'll probably do like a later on thing for the expansion. But yeah, Cyberpunk. And then what else did I play? Oh, I also played because after I played Cyberpunk, I was like, I kind of need something kind of mindless, and I started up the DLC for Batman Arkham Origins, which is the Mr. Freeze DLC. It was fun. It was okay. It was like also like a 2 hour thing where I was just like, yeah, this is brainless. I'm okay with it.
That's
It's
fair.
it's Batman. And yeah, like right now, like I'm trying to like go through obviously Neo. maybe a little bit Lords of the Fallen and like other stuff that I have. There's a part of me that wants to basically get through Pokemon Sword, so I can just get through that and like kind of like be in the mood for Pokemon in a way, because like Scarlet and Violet is coming out next month, I believe. No. No, is it next month or November? I don't remember. Anyways, that's coming out. And I've never fully played a Pokemon game, so like I said,
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that.
They're fun. I enjoy them.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, I get into the hype and then I just like stop playing them. And then
Yeah.
then there's the expansion that happened for Sword and Shield, and I just never got into it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and Arceus. Yeah, I only played a little bit of that on stream, and I realized that like it's one of those games where it's like it's kind of a cycle almost, where I feel like it might get boring after a while.
That's Pokemon in general, but yeah.
Yeah, and that, and then for streaming, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country.
Yeah, it was great watching. It was so cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No, it's enjoyable to watch you. I hate Manedo.
Manedo. Surprisingly, no Manedo talk. I saw Manedo, but no talk of Manedo.
Whoever the blonde chick is speaks amazing English. Just the best American ever. I love it.
Yes, because that's the weird thing about Xenoblade 2 is that like it's a mixed combination of people with American accents and then people doing like British accents. It's so bizarre.
Every time I hear somebody that's like, yes, hello, I would love a cheeseburger. I'm like, yes. And then I hear like, Manado. And I'm like, no, just go away. Why are they still here?
What are you talking about, Manado?
Didn't we
what are you talking about?
secede from these people?
What are you talking about? What, isn't it? And it's like, all right.
Isn't it, bruv? Ball,
It's weird because, like I said, like a lot of these characters are like I like the characters. I'm really digging the characters. Like your main character. Obviously this is supposed to be a prequel to Xenoblade 2, so this is supposed to be like 500.
Oh wait, hold on. No, I did not mean to agree with that. Excuse me. What? It's a prequel.
It is a prequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where it's like 500 years in the past, and you're playing from the perspective of one of the bad guys from Xenoblade 2. Where originally he was a good guy, and then you see that process of like how he became a bad guy.
What you're saying is in this alternate dimension, British wasn't the original speaking. It was American, and then they switched to British later.
I mean, if you want to talk about real life, I mean, that was kind of the case.
No.
Okay.
It was British first, and then we became America, and now we speak American.
Because the game was not popular. It came out on the fucking Wii, and it only came out in Europe. So that's why you have voice actors.
I'm talking like just normal history bullshit. Like,
oh, yeah. No, but I'm saying it's like there's like the legit reason as to like.
No, I know. I know. I still hate it.
Wow.
It's not gonna make me like it more.
Hate the British.
I have fun making fun of the game with you. I do not enjoy that game.
I like it's weird because like I know a lot of people have said that like it's like playing a MMO. It's like MMO combat.
People fucking love this game, and I don't get it.
I love 1. I really love 1. I liked 2, but not as much as 1 because I like the story where basically all these games have pretty much been like we're in the middle of a fucking war and war sucks.
Yeah.
And like obviously with 1, like it progressed to like there's a reason why this war is happening, and then here's the beyond truth where it's like, obvious spoilers for 1, but it's like your world is a creation from a fucking experiment gone wrong, and it's like
what?
It's like what? And it's and then like and then the god that you had the final boss fight with is just the dude that fucked up the universe, and it's like what? And I'm like, god damn. And then obviously with 2 had that thing where it's like, yes, it has a connection to 1. And then I'm very curious about 3 because like I want to see what the connection is with 3. Obviously it's probably gonna be the god shit again, but I want to see that perspective of 3 of like how fucked is their world, like essentially, like because from what I've seen from the trailers is that they have been fighting for years. There's been a conflict that's been going on in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and essentially everybody's lifespan is like I think fucking 10 years, so they've aged super fast. So there's like that sense of like fuckery with like some people being like, we just live to fight and that's it. Yeah, I really like this. I really like this series. The combat itself is a lot more interesting than Xenoblade 2 because you're able to do like switching with your partner character, which I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Like it feels like a better iteration of that. But then, I saw gameplay for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and I'm like, "Oh, they changed the combat even more." So it's yeah. But I know for a fact that if I just skipped this and went straight to 3, there was no way in hell I was going to go back and play this game. So I was like, I might as well just play this game just to play this and get through it. And so far, I'm actually enjoying it. I like the story. I like, even though I know what happens to this world, because obviously 2 kind of explains, the whole shit that happened. I kind of like that it kind of fleshes it out a little bit more, and you see kind of, I guess, you haven't really seen the downfall of a character yet. The guy that was the bad guy in 2 and then was a good guy in this game. But I'm really interested in like what his mindset is because, he is enjoyable. The new characters that you're with are really enjoyable. I miss Pyra. Mithra is such a bitch, but that's what we get. That's just me. So I have come up with like fan theories and stuff like that in my head for this game for specific things. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. And then the shit that I watched. God damn it, man.
Oh, hold on. Before that, did you watch anything else?
No. That was the only thing I watched. Everything that I watched was
Not
like
even like a movie, really?
I Johnny Mnemonic was like the one that I started, but
Okay,
then
right, I forgot.
yeah, and then obviously RRR I finished, but
Right.
like as for anything that like I finished, no, because I was watching this fucking shit. So and I'm still watching like Uncle from Another World. But that's
All right, yeah.
that's episodic. That's
Did
happening.
they start it again or no?
Yeah, it came back. Yeah, I don't know. They took like a week hiatus on Netflix because it was like I watched like fucking 5 episodes and then like I'm looking at Netflix's thing. And it's like it will return on fucking August 31st,
I
and it's
wonder
like
if they want to take like breaks or anything. Because I assume they have to keep doing writing and stuff like that.
I mean it's still going in Japan, so that was the weird thing where it's like I don't think they had the subtitles ready yet, or maybe somebody took a day off or
I
something.
was literally just about to say, I wonder if the translation team like was busy doing other things or was taking a vacation.
Possible chance, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Uncle from Another World, I caught the latest episode. It's still a good, funny show.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I want to talk about Resident Evil, but before we do that, I kind of want to get like a drink of water because I've been talking for a good while. I'm
Really quick. I completely forgot. You just jolted my memory. I did watch something else. I watched Broly.
Oh wait, no, we talked about it last week.
Did we?
I think we did. I mean, no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
I think we talked about me.
We talked it in Discord.
Trying to watch it or something.
Yeah. We talked about it in Discord.
You sent me a link for
the Broly,
the subtitle one.
Oh, you wanted to watch it dubbed?
No, I went and found the dubbed one.
Oh, okay. No, wait. The link that I gave you to watch it legally had a dub option.
Yeah, I clicked it. It didn't work.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. But I found one for me, and anyways, I don't know, man.
How'd you feel about that Kakarot theme?
Kakarot theme?
Yeah, when the guy was like talking about Kakarot, when Goku starts to fight Broly, he's like, "Let's go, Broly," and then you hear the theme play. It's like Kakarot.
Oh yeah, It was just
shows.
music though. It wasn't like him saying it.
It was the theme.
Right,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
Broly
It's the
wasn't like,
theme.
take it on. Ah! You know?
I'm talking about the theme. I'm just talking about the theme. I'm not talking about Broly saying anything. I'm just
Yeah,
talking
the
about the
music.
theme. Yes, the music.
Yeah, I just said that.
No, you're like, oh, but it's not Broly talking about. No, shut up.
Yeah, it's
Listen to
just
the
music.
theme. Wow, it's just music. You hear
Huh?
this live. Hearing this live, it's just music. He hates it. He hated the theme.
No, it was fine.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think I like old Broly better.
Well, you know what? Not canon anymore. Boom.
Uh, I mean, old Broly's in Fighters, and Fighters is canon, so.
Well, Fighters, the story of Fighters is canon, but Broly is just DLC character. He's not in the story.
Canon.
Nope. Dead. Dead canon. Do you really want a world where Bio Broly is the last thing Broly was ever in?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure it'll come back full circle, don't worry.
Yeah, sure. Get
They'll figure out how to
Bio
ruin Broly again.
Bio
I'm sorry,
Broly.
they already ruined him again.
Wow. I like this Broly.
I don't know. It was okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything standouty in it.
In the animation.
The animation was very good, yeah, of course.
Hmm.
I did like the part where they were running from him and then he fought Frieza. So I guess what it was that made it feel less, I don't know how to say this better. I'm gonna sound like a child. I don't know how to say like this I don't know what I'm saying. Okay.
I don't know what you're saying.
This was not as good as the other movie because
Hmm.
Broly didn't seem to be a threat.
Yeah, it's just a thing. Like I said before, it was just like I said it was a misunderstanding, but it's more like just a miscommunication. That's all it is.
It's literally like, and then like when they take him back to his home, well, his what you would call now his home.
Mm-hmm.
Goku teleports there, and then he's like, "Ha ha ha! I hope I can train with you again. I mean, I'll just teleport here and fight you sometimes." And then Broly's like, "Me Broly, me eat rock." And then
And you're like,
the
yes,
lady was
Broly.
like, "We're your friend, Broly." I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, Goku, you're mean to him.
Yeah,
I don't
stop being
know.
mean to him, Goku.
You can call me Kakarot.
And then he gives him a wink, and then he leaves.
I don't know. It doesn't feel good to not have Broly as such a villain because, and we talked about this in the original one. He played such a good villain. He was this demonic fucking evil guy.
Yeah.
That like just lost fucking control and smashed faces into rocks, man.
Yeah. It's essentially like the most powerful being an evil piece of shit, and that's what Broly was. But like I said, with this, they try to humanize him a little bit more as like a misunderstood child that was not raised correctly because his father's intent was to raise him as a warrior.
If I think of it as a remake, it's a different show. It's a different thing.
It is. It is.
It's a different viewpoint, obviously, like you were just saying, right?
Yeah.
I still prefer old Broly, just like everyone loves Michael Keaton way more as Batman than anyone else. You understand?
I guess.
All right, cool. Michael Keaton is Broly.
All right.
This summer.
Sure, Michael Keaton is Bio Broly.
No, not Bio Broly.
That's the thing is that like
we can delete Bio Broly at least. Everything else is fine.
Dragon Ball's canon has been like obviously the most bizarre shit, and with the inclusion of Super, it just goes to even further lengths of like trying to retcon and trying to like bring old characters that people liked in, but with a different context, you know. So it's one of these stories where I don't know, like Dragon Ball in general is just like it's stupid. It's stupid. That's all I could say. It's stupid. But I liked the Broly movie. I liked the Super movie. I enjoyed it. Um, I
Really.
I like both Broly's in their own respect because I can view it as like they're completely two different characters. Obviously,
Yeah, that's
they
fair.
they share the same name, but like they're just completely different.
I think the one thing I liked the most about this new one was when they were fighting and they were just tunneling through fucking mountain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That shit was really cool.
And even the last like fight
Oh my god.
sequence, like they really tried to kill two birds with one stone. Where it'd be like, okay, here's Broly, that's cool and all, but let's bring in Gogeta, and it's like, okay, I'm cool with that. Like that is the only way to defeat this all powerful being.
They were like,
that
we have to fuse. My fingies ain't right. And I was
yeah,
like, that's dumb. Get out of my face.
no, the fingies ain't right. That's how
No.
you got to fuse properly.
I
when the
don't
fingies
need
are
to
right.
feel nostalgic through Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is already the nostalgia already. I don't need more nostalgia factor.
Well, too bad because like you're watching a movie about a character that existed in the non-canon universe. So here's nostalgia for you
Blah,
more.
blah, 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 non-canon universe.
Same,
Oh god.
same thing with Gogeta. Gogeta was not canon. Gogeta was in that Janemba movie, and that was it.
Are
And
you
then
talking about the earrings?
no, that's Vegito. Vegito is canon,
Yeah.
but Gogeta came back in GT. But it's weird because GT is its own not canon show.
Right.
So that's why
I hate Frieza's voice.
That's why Gogeta was up in the air. Damn, you really hate that Frieza voice.
I really do.
I like the Frieza voice. It's fine.
And she's British, and she or he. Fuck. Right. He.
Yes, he. It's a he.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, British. Manado.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh. Remember,
yeah.
you said you wanted to find that person on You wanted to find the Frieza person
On Cameo?
on Cameo and get them to say Manadu. I forgot you said that.
Yeah. I want it to happen. I'm probably not gonna pay. He probably play. I'll try to figure out how much he charges, but still.
No, I just remember you had said it because me and Wesley were like or maybe he wasn't. I was cracking the fuck up when you were talking about it. I thought it was very funny.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, well, I'm glad that you sort of kind of enjoyed the Broly movie, but
That was okay. I definitely need to watch the other movies.
Superhero's pretty good. I really
I want to see Gohan long hair.
Yeah, you want Gohan Extreme.
Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
Because I saw somebody say that. Gohan Extreme.
Oh, I have no fucking clue.
I hope it's not.
I'm just saying extreme because I remembered I was watching a Kamen Rider show with Kamen Rider Double, and that's what it was.
Extreme! I can't do the thing. I don't know they do it.
Extreme! And it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other... Oh, Joker! I can't do it either. But...
Cyclone and Joker. God, I gotta watch that show again. Oh, that reminds me. The theme song, the one that I was talking about, is also a guy that does one of the voices for one of the Kamen Riders themes, and
Kamehameha Rider.
Yeah, he does like what is it called? He does like the transformation like voice as well. It's literally the one after Kamen Rider Double. He does Kamen Rider O's, and like Kamen Rider O's transformation is Tiger. No, it's Hawk, Tiger, and Grasshopper. So it's like 3 different like weird like combinations. It's essentially the whole gimmick of that specific one.
You said Grasshopper, right?
Yeah, Grasshopper.
That's enough of this.
I mean, Kamen Rider, the first one, it looks like a grasshopper, man. So, oh my god, that reminds me. Oh god, sorry.
Godzilla?
Huh? What?
Godzilla?
Well, kind of. Yeah, it kind of comes back to that. Did you ever watch the movie Shin Godzilla?
Oh shit. Probably.
Okay. Well, the director for Shin Godzilla is the same director that did Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh.
Yes. So basically, because of how well that movie did, he's doing other like IPs based on like other famous Japanese like media. So the biggest thing after he did Godzilla was Shin Ultraman. You know what Ultraman is, right? At least he's like this big silver looking man. You've probably seen it. somewhere.
Ultraman. I don't know.
Yeah, he was apparently like super popular in America, which I didn't know. By the way, yeah, he's doing Shin Ultraman, and his next project, which I believe is coming out next year, is Shin Kamen Rider, which is basically a retelling of the original Kamen Rider story, but through the
Is it gonna be a movie?
yes, Shin Ultraman is also a movie as
Is it
well.
gonna be live action?
Yes, Shin.
Ooh.
Yes, I will send you a clip of. Well, I'll send you the trailer of what it looks like, and it's just like, damn, this looks kind of crazy. But this is also a funny thing is that like they tried to do like a live action like movie reboot of the first original Kamen Rider, and apparently it wasn't that good because it did like the first movie and did like a sequel, and it wasn't that good. So a
Yeah,
lot
no
of people.
shit. I'm sure it was bad. What was it, like the 90s or 80s or 70s?
No, this fucking movie came out in like 2008 or like 2009.
What?
Yeah, this like reboot came out like in the 2000s. It was really
Did it
weird.
star Ong, our favorite Avatar?
No, it's all like Japanese actors, but like very well known Japanese actors.
Okay.
But like that's why a lot of people are really hesitant on like this reboot of this series because it already had a movie reboot. But it looks far more interesting because a lot of people have more hope in it because it's the director of Shin Godzilla. It is Hideaki Anno. So, and then I don't know how Shin Ultraman did, to be honest, but I'm very curious about that that movie because it looks really good. Just like, you know, big gray man fighting weird monster kaiju. Yeah, kaiju.
It's
Anyways,
kaiju.
speaking of kaijus, what about that Resident Evil?
Water time?
Yeah, let's go get a water. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back from our breaks. I got myself some water.
I am freezing water until it is colder.
Fair enough. Who knows? Maybe by the time we finish this discussion, it will already be frozen. Probably not, because like this is gonna be a short discussion. Because I was the one that fucking finished this shit. So I guess
I can say things up to episode 4.
Yeah. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, should I even put a spoiler warning because this fucking shit, it's bad. It's
I would just say the word spoiler.
all right. I guess big spoilerinos for Resident Evil on Netflix. Here's a spoiler. It's bad.
Hold on. But
Ooh.
wait, there's more spoils of this TV show on the Netflix.
On Netflix. Also, another spoiler. It's canceled. So we talked about it last week. So
yeah, it was really bad.
It's not good.
Again, I couldn't make it past episode 4, or I guess partially episode 4.
I was gonna say, what? How you remember what happened in part 4? Part 4. Yeah, I guess episode 4.
Last thing I remember is her remembering, I believe, her sister getting bitten.
Yes.
Which was, I think, episode 3. And then she's trying to run from these people, and then she gets in a car with a guy. He wants her to get the fuck out, then he dies.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now I remember.
Yeah. So like that's kind of like where I remember. I think I like sleepily watched like episode 4 then, and then I was like, the next day I was like, I'm good.
I wonder how Chonch is doing while my bitch ass is like on fucking episode 7.
I wanted to be like, yo, I didn't watch it all, but then I was like, well, if he's having fun.
Nope. Not at all.
Oh, the one thing, so I think this will surprise you. The one thing that I think positive came out of this, at least for me, is who is the guy that plays Wesker?
Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick. I kind of liked Lance Reddick in it.
It's good.
Super weird.
He's good. No, that's the thing is that like throughout
I don't like Lance Reddick normally.
Wow, so much hate for Lance Reddick. No, because like that's the thing is I like Lance Reddick. I've only seen him like maybe a handful of things, because he always plays like the serious character.
Well, he plays the same guy almost in everything.
He plays Lance. He plays Lance Reddick. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, how much did they pay him to be in this show?
Not enough.
I don't think enough, or maybe
No.
too much, because I feel like that's probably where the budget went into. Because other than that, this show really doesn't have it really hasn't had like any star power behind it besides Lance Reddick.
Yeah. I do
Because
think the CG, by the way, was good. Like, there was some good, like, edits in
yeah,
there.
and the creature designs were pretty alright. Like the zombies looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess just to basically explain like the whole premise of the show for I guess people who are listening to the spoiler that just don't give a fuck about spoilers is that essentially it is doing this thing where it's cutting in between both post T virus and pre T virus. Um, basically the whole show centers around these two girls, Billy and Jade, who are the children of Wesker, Albert Wesker, and their early teen shit talks about how they are in like New Raccoon City, uh, and it already establishes the fact that like Resident Evil 1 happened and 2, because they talk about the explosion that happened to Resident Evil 2 Raccoon City, where it essentially got nuked. And then the future stuff is basically the outbreak happens again. Even though it's a little unclear as to how it breaks out again. Because like I'm trying to think, they didn't really explain how it got worldwide again. This show has like so many writing problems, but anyways, yeah, the whole story is basically focused on the two sisters, Billy and Jade, and then the future parts is mostly focused on Jade, and then the whole setup is what happened to Billy, how did it get so bad, how is Wesker involved, what's Umbrella's deal. Um and yeah, like I said, this show is written poorly. It is a very poorly written Resident Evil adaptation, which goes to show that I think Resident Evil is one of these series that should never be adapted, like at all. Like every fucking adaptation has not been good.
Uh,
I know people like the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil, but it's just literally the dude's wife's like OC in the Resident Evil world.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Because it's just like
I
Alice, pew 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 pew. Hey, Jill, pew 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 pew.
Yeah, he
Chris,
realistically
pew
just
pew
wants to
pew
see his
pew.
wife in tight leather, and she won't do it unless she's in a movie.
Wesker, pew 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 pew. Like it's literally those are the movies. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It is stupid.
Wait,
And then
Wesker's in it.
yes, Wesker's in one of the Resident Evil Mila Jovovich movies. And then there's the last one that happened was Welcome to Raccoon City, which that was a fucking like that was a weird experience because I watched that movie and it's just like they crammed in Resident Evil 1 and 2, and I think was Nemesis in it? I don't even remember, dude. Like it like
Nemesis was in Jovovich, yeah.
yes, he was in Jovovich, but I'm trying to remember about Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like I said, it was like they mashed in Resident Evil 1 and 2 together. I don't remember. That movie was such a blur, but it was not a good adaptation as well. Because, like,
No.
the guy who played Leon was, like, super incompetent. Yeah.
Hair.
Yeah, he just had really good hair. And then you have this fucking Netflix series that like is apparently like trying to have some like canon to the timeline of the video games because like you said, you only got to episode 4 and I watched the entire thing. So there's a lot of things to talk about what happens later on. Basically, did you meet the CEO of Umbrella yet in episode 4? No,
The
right?
lady, right?
Yes, the lady.
She comes home and her wife's like, "You weren't here."
Yeah, you're never here enough. What about our son? And then, the whole thing is that Jade has a relationship with the son because the son is able to hack through the firewall that New Raccoon City has. So that's how she finds out about the nuke that happened to Old Raccoon City, and about the whole idea about the T virus and shit like that. Because essentially, what happens in the show is her sister Billy gets bit. Jade is the one that doesn't get bit, but like
Yeah.
Billy gets bit, but she's not turning, so it's believed that maybe she has like something within her body that probably counteracting this. So basically from there on, the plot basically becomes like figuring out like what happened to Old Raccoon City. Umbrella is trying to figure out uh what happened when the dog got out, because that's what bit Billy, was an infected dog. And yeah, it's just like, and then you have the future stuff where like Jade is like doing research about how to, like, I guess kind of cure the infection. And then Umbrella steps in again because they're looking for Jade, and the whole reveal that was kind of like obvious is that Billy is alive, in the future. So why is Billy and her relationship so strained? And it's stupid. It's, oh my god,
Billy's alive.
Billy is alive. And then they basically explain why Albert Wesker is Lance Reddick.
Lance defer.
I think what I can say is that I'm glad I'm glad that Lance Reddick fought to cosplay as Blade.
I really wish they would lance that Reddick fellow.
Basically, so this is where it gets even more stupid. So the Wesker we're introduced to in the beginning of the show is a clone of Albert Wesker. So that's why we have that version of the Blade Lance Reddick, because that's Wesker originally. So he is a clone, but there are other clones as well. So what happens in like the past like storyline is Daddy Wesker gets captured, and then he's in a holding cell, and like next door is his other clone, his essentially his brother Bert. And they talk about like,
Please don't tell me it's actually Bert.
It's Bert because his name is Albert. So
I hate
this
everything.
yes, this Wesker is called Al, and this other one is called Bert. So they talk about how Bert has basically been in that facility for years, and never really lived a life. So you have a little cute sequence where he breaks out. Well, he's essentially a psychopath because he murders like a bunch of guards and then escapes, and then like takes his brother's daughters and is like, "Let's go have fun. I'm your dad." And then he's like, "All right, I'm not your dad. I'm not your dad. I'm actually your uncle." And they're like, "What? What the fuck is going on?"
I'm not Al. I'm Bert.
I'm Bert. I can do.
This is so bad.
It is a terrible written show because even the characters are fucking stupid.
Dude,
like,
I'm so glad you watched this over me.
Oh my fucking god. It is the writing in the show is fucking stupid. When the character, I don't like any of the characters. Even the younger versions of them, like I know they're supposed to be like angsty teens, like Billy and Jade, but Jade is such a fucking bitch when she is a fucking 14-year-old, where she's like, "Fuck you, dad. You don't know me." And it's like, "Bitch, he raised you. What are you talking about?"
No, but that's zombie dad, remember?
No, and then she's like, "You're being fucking weird, dad." And literally everybody says in this show when they're trying to give like an explanation for something, everybody's like counteracting. Well, not even that. When somebody's trying to give an explanation to Jade or Billy in the fucking past, they're always like, "Stop! No! Stop! Stop! No! I don't want to hear it! No! Stop!" And it's like, bitch, just let them explain! Just let them talk! It is so bad. Like, the dialogue is terrible. Everybody's motivations is fucking stupid. The CEO lady's motivation to like push out this drug that's essentially causing the T virus is essentially it's so cartoonishly villainous that it's like, "I want to get all the money in the world, and then if this product goes bad, I have the cure to get more money." And I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is absolutely like like so much fucking horse shit that's happening in the show. And then like they break into the fucking facility again, to get more. I think to get their no. Jade breaks in to get Billy because Billy gets kidnapped, but then they end up saving their dad and Bert. And then this is also the other problem of this fucking show is that like they keep talking about, oh, we gotta save Billy, but fucking Billy is losing control every fucking moment you're with her, and she's like, and then like somebody's like, hey Billy, let me help you, puts hand on shoulder, and she's like, like she's freaking out, and then she just bites people.
Yeah, isn't Billy the one that got bit?
Yes, she starts.
Of course,
she starts biting people, and she bites the son of the CEO lady, and then the CEO lady sees it, and he's like, Mom, she bit me. And I'm like, this like I was thinking, I'm like, this is like kindergartners like talking like she bit me, and it's like, oh my god. And then he's like, so, and then Al tries to like reason with the CEO lady, being like, oh, we can help him here. He has like 3 days until he turns. Like we could try our best to find a cure for him. And then the fucking CEO lady shoots him in the head. And then he's like, oh my god, we could have helped your son. And she's like, no, I wanted to put him out his misery before he turned. And she's like, I'll never forgive you and your daughters. And I'm like, this is...
It's your fault.
It's essentially that. And I'm like, this is so stupid. But even then, it is even more stupider on how fucking Billy and Jade... Essentially, how Billy got infected is because she wanted to be like, oh, these poor bunnies are being tested on animal cruelty. And then she goes and she sees this fucking big ass safe that's fucking metal locked. And she's like, I gotta open the safe to take a picture about the animal cruelty. And it's the fucking dog inside. It's like, bitch, there's a reason why this thing was fucking locked in. Like, oh my god. And then they get chased. And then, the dog fucking bites the shit out of Billy. And then at the end, they have like a little like joke where she's like, I don't think I'm a dog person anymore. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. I hate you guys so much. That. I hate you so fucking much.
I don't think I'm a dog person anymore. And end episode.
Scene.
Yeah.
Scene. And I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking shit.
Looks at Lance Reddick. Did I do good? Yeah, whatever, kid.
Bro, like the writing in this show is fucking bad. Like I feel like these are people.
Garbage.
It's garbage. It's absolutely garbage. Like the reveal of like real Wesker was like the start of like maybe episode 7 or 6, and I started to laugh, dude. I laughed my fucking ass off. There were so many times I laughed my ass off because of how poor the fucking writing in the show is.
They told 10 kids at a middle school that they would give each one of them $100 to write a page of each season
episode of Resident. It's like they just asked people, "Hey, you skimmed through Resident Evil, the video games, right?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Nope, they didn't even ask that. They were like, "You know what a zombie is? All right, cool. You want to write me some shit?"
Oh, let's talk about that. The fucking what they call the fucking zombies in the show, not even infected, they call them zeros, which I'm like, what?
They're fucking zeros, baby.
It's like, there's so many zeros out there, oh my god, we'll never get past this amount of zeros, we gotta find out the cure for the zeros. And it's like, when the fuck did this happen in Resident Evil? Like, I'm not even like the biggest fan of Resident Evil. I enjoy those games. I really like those games. I like the series.
Well, what about Resident Evil 0? Isn't that where the zero came from?
So this is the thing of how stupid this fucking shit is that like they kind of incorporate the the lunacy of Resident Evil 0, where Resident Evil's like dumb bullshit of the stuff you're fighting is like giant bugoids. Or mutated animals. That's the shit that you're fighting. And then in the show, in the future parts, you see that like there's a mutant caterpillar, and then there's a mutant spider. Eventually that happens.
No. Good thing I didn't fund, but
and then they bring in lickers.
Give me 2 seconds, real quick.
So yeah, basically they try to do like some homages to obviously the series where they put in liquors. That's a thing that happens in like the future parts, where Jade is trying to escape from fucking from Umbrella, so she tries to cross like into like another country, and they have to go through this tunnel, and it's crawling with liquors. And then they also introduce the tyrant. That's also a stinger that happens, I think, like at episode 8 in like the past section, where they leave, and like they essentially blew up the fucking facility, and like the tyrant is in there from Resident Evil 1. And it's, oh my god, dude, it is so stupid. But like that episode where it opens up with like the Wesker clones being like, "Oh, we're doing research for our essentially our dad," and then Wesker, in full Blade cosplay comes down, and he starts yelling at one of the clones. He's like, "Are you listening to music?" And he's like, "You're supposed to be focusing on the research and this and that." And then they get raided by like, Umbrella, and uh you know the clones get captured by Umbrella, and Wesker makes his escape. So then it's revealed by Bert that, oh yeah, Wesker, their daddy Wesker, essentially died in the volcano. That's a thing that's canon in fucking Resident Evil 5. That's how Wesker dies. So I'm like, what is this fucking show doing? Like, it's trying to be part of the canon, but like it is so far out. Like the future shit feels like it's stuff that they try to do in the Mila Jovovich movies, where like there was a movie where it just did the post-apocalypse, and then it just went back to going into like a future city. Like those movies were bad in its own right, but this show is fucking terrible in its writing, where it's trying to like connect the other games into this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Um Oh my god, like I don't like Jade, I don't like Billy, I Lance Reddick I kind of like, kind of. But he's incompetent as well, where like his fucking kids are able to figure out like the security measures, where like he's supposed to be a fucking like lead scientist on this fucking project, and like his fucking daughters are able to hack, not even hack, just put in the password that they know that he always puts down for everything, and like see all the information documents about like the testing that they're doing in that facility. And it's like, dude, how are you fucking this incompetent? Like it is so stupid. It is. Oh, and there's a thing that happens in the fucking future part where Jade goes back to her little colony that's on a boat called the oh fuck, what is it called? It's like called the University. That's what it's called. Where essentially it's essentially a bunch of people that collected a bunch of stuff from like, from history and stuff like
From
that
university.
yeah, to preserve, all of like human culture before it dies out because of the infection.
Mm.
And basically there's a whole little thing where before that happened, she got imprisoned by these cultists that, oh my god, they even do a reference for Resident Evil 4. I just realized that now, because like there are these weird French cultists that like talk about how like the zombie infection is like the retribution of, like it's the divine retribution of whatever the fuck. And then the thing that they do for Resident Evil 4 is that they have the guy with the chainsaw. Salvador, I believe, is the actual character's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do that. But what's going on in that facility is that like Jade is with a Umbrella guy, Baxter, the fat guy, who kind of looks like Jack Black. I thought it was Jack Black for like a good bit, and then it's
Did
like,
they
no,
show the what are you buying? What are you selling? Guy?
no. Fortunately, they did not show the merchant.
What?
Fortunately,
He's such a great character.
he doesn't. He should not be in that show.
What? He should. Why not? They need someone to sell them things.
No, no, I refuse. Anyways, Baxter is the bad guy that's chasing Jade, and basically tells her, "Oh yeah, your sister's alive." So yeah, they're in that whole place, and then Jade realizes that like one of the zeros has a specific mutation where it's able to produce hormones that makes the other zombies listen to it. So eventually they escape. Jade gets picked up by Umbrella. She gets interrogated by Billy, an older Billy. And Billy does this whole acting bit where she's like, "Oh, like I'm not underneath Umbrella's control. You're still my sister. I want you to escape. Let me take out the tracking device that Umbrella put in you to show you that you can trust me."
And then she puts one in her.
And she puts a tracking in the zombie head that Jay took from the infected that was mutated that has the pheromones shit.
Nice.
So,
Smart.
anyways. So yeah, Jade goes back to her university ship. She does research with her partner, her friend, that's pregnant. Her name is Amrita. Amrita is like, "Oh, I'm expecting a baby, sometime soon." And literally, my first thought in my head was like, "That bitch is gonna die." Uh, this pregnant lady, gonna die. So then,
Death is coming.
yeah, so basically they do the research on the pheromones. They figure it out that like it's the pheromones that are essentially the ones that affect this thing. So Jade is like, "Oh, I want to do an actual experiment." So underneath their ship, they have like a bunch of zombies in the water that like are like, I guess, sedated because they're in the water. So they don't move as fast. So she gets one of the zombies, she brings it onto the ship, but she tells nobody that she's bringing a zombie onto the fucking ship. And then she conducts the experiment, and then her dumbass little daughter walks in, and she's like, "Hi, mommy! Oh my god, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Stay behind me. I'm gonna try out this experiment. It might work. If it doesn't work, I want you to be protected." It's this stupid shit.
Wait,
And
she
then
had her kid?
she has a kid. Yeah, she has a kid in the show.
But she's pregnant too at the same time?
No, they say at the beginning of the first episode when she's talking with her husband that like, "Oh, I'm sorry I can't be there for our daughter." B is her daughter's name. And her daughter's like a little kid.
Oh, this isn't a pregnant lady, okay.
No, this is not the pregnant lady.
Sorry, I got confused.
I said Jade.
Who's
Bro.
that?
Wow. This is how much you care for the show?
So bad. It's so bad.
It's terrible. No, it's one of the sisters.
Whisker.
It's the older sister. Well, it's
fuck, okay.
It's the main girl. It's the main girl that you see in the first episode.
Yeah.
Her name is Jade.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jade tells nobody that she brings this fucking zombie onto the fucking thing. She straps it to somewhere, and like it's supposedly tied. She puts like the pheromones on herself to like make it not sense her to try it out, and she's like, "Oh my god, it works." And then her dumbass daughter comes out behind and is like, "Oh my god, you did it, mommy, it worked." And then the fucking zombie sees the daughter and like fucking breaks out of the fucking like ropes, and it
eats her.
No, it starts chasing the daughter. And then the fucking dumbass daughter like runs past the fucking pregnant lady, and the pregnant lady's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And the fucking daughter like goes into hiding, doesn't say a fucking single thing, and then gets out of the little hiding spot. And it's like that, and then the fucking zombie just eats the fucking lady.
It like makes me think of like, oh my fucking god, man, I can't. Fuck, it was such a good show too. It was a movie, an old black and white zombie film. Where they're like, "We'll never survive," and they're like breaking a fucking window in, like that type of acting.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I don't fucking know the name of it. It doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. It just makes me think of like 1950s. Like
overall, I just want to get it across. It is a terribly written show. It is. It is atrocious, and I'm like, I can see why it did not get a fucking another season, because it's like it's not good. It's trying to use the name brand of this thing that I guess some people know, and trying to like make it popular, but as it's written, it is bad. It is so fucking bad.
You think it's atrosh?
Atrash?
Atrosh, yeah.
Atrocious?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad because it's like, who is this for? It's literally every person that likes the Resident Evil series dislikes almost every fucking adaptation, and then for the people that are like don't know anything for Resident Evil will miss out on like specific like little like hints of like little Easter eggs and shit like that from the series. So it's like, and but like even then, overall the story is not good. I don't give a fuck about Billy. I don't give a fuck about Jade. I don't give a fuck about Wesker, even though I like Lance Reddick. I don't give a fuck about the CEO. I don't give a fuck about any of the people in the future. I don't care about anyone. There was
what?
Uh-huh.
Do you think putting a celebrity in the show would have helped?
This is the thing, is that like the only star power is fucking Lance Reddick. Everybody else I've never seen in anything else.
If like Billie Eilish was in it, do you think it would be better?
No.
No.
I don't think, does Billie Eilish not even know how to act?
She could sing. I would assume she could do whatever, right?
Oh, that reminds me. There's a Billie Eilish song in that fucking show.
Was there?
Yes. Every fucking time each episode ends, there's always like a fucking song that ends the show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always like one of those like whispery like breathy like vocals be like, I saw the devil, and it's like so and it's like literally the lyrics that they choose to end the episode is literally like, oh, the lyrics are so deep because like that's what just happened in this episode, and it's like it is so blatant and stupid.
Yeah. What's funny is I just don't like this show. What's funny is you fucking actually despise this show,
I
bro.
dislike it because I experienced it. I can have an actual opinion about it because it is a terribly written show.
How many episodes are there?
8.
I can have a half an opinion.
Yeah, you can have half an opinion. But that's the thing, is that like you got out early because it's like you knew and it wasn't good. Even from a viewer standpoint, that it was just like, I don't want to continue this. You were like, fuck that.
You're 1,000% right though. Like I think that's kind of where I just started not paying attention anymore. Was I think it's actually the first episode, whatever episode she gets bit by the dog.
I think like episode 2 or 3. It was like early, but like
when she gets bit by the dog, and then they go, "I don't think I like dogs anymore." I was like, "This fucking sucks."
This show is stupid. But even the reasoning on how she got bit is stupid as well.
Yeah,
it is stupid that it's just like, oh, we have a recording of her dad's voice. Let's go, because the fucking security in that place is also fucking awful. Because there's no security guards, even though there's police. That in this fucking like quote unquote pharmaceutical company. It's like there should be a guard or somebody.
Dude, like, it's actually the worst.
It is terrible.
Why were they going into the building again?
Because this bitch Billy went to go get yeah, sure. There was this whole fucking other shit about like how Billy got into that fight with that girl. You remember like the beginning episodes?
Right.
And essentially there was a whole ordeal that happened where somebody in like a raccoon mask went up to that girl and like bonked her on the head. And essentially we find out that it was her sister, it was Jade that was in the raccoon thing, and they talk about how like Billy's like, you shouldn't have done that, like that was wrong, and she's like, well, you don't stand up for yourself. Like she's like, that's why I'm like, I don't care for these characters because one's a bitch and the other one's a fucking idiot. So it's like I do not care for these younger versions of them. And then they always complain to each other about like how, oh, like Billy's always like, you always want to do things by yourself. Like you always think it's the Jade show. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're sisters. They're just like mad.
Yeah, and then Jade's like well, you never stand up for yourself. You used to be fun. Like I don't know where the fun Billy went. And it's like, you guys are fucking idiots. You guys, I know you're supposed to be kids, but you guys are fucking idiots.
Also, like, you're kids.
Oh yeah,
what do you mean? Where did the fun Billy go? You're a fucking child, you idiot.
Yeah. So, but like basically, yeah, Jade bonked this chick on the head, and then like essentially her dad came in and the girl that got assaulted, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue the school. I'm gonna sue this girl. She's gonna go to jail." And this and that, and then Wesker walks in, and Wesker asserts his dominance, being like, "So, what do you do in Umbrella Corp?" And he like talks about, "Oh, like I'm a computer programmer and this and that." He's like, "Oh, okay, so you can be replaced anytime." He's like, "Well, I'm a lead scientist that's like this and that in Umbrella." He's like, "So if you have any problems, you got to go through me." And then yeah, it's just he asserts his dominance. Um. So then after that ordeal, he like basically invites Billy. "Oh yeah, why don't you come to my office and we'll have lunch together?" And she's like, "Okay." So she goes to the building, and then as she's waiting for her dad, she sees a guy with it's so stupid too, because like it is fucking obvious what's in that fucking cart. Because it's this fucking dude that looks like an intern is just like rolling around with a cart with like a blanket on top of it, but like the blanket is so like thrown on haphazardly that it doesn't cover a fucking thing, and there's bunny rabbits in it. And then he takes the bunny rabbits to like the lower floors to be, I guess, experimented on.
Chopped up. Yeah, experimented on that one.
Experimented on, and then Billy goes to her sister and is like, "Umbrella's lying. They're doing animal experiments. We gotta go help the animals." And then they break in. They fucking break into the literally the non-existent security of that fucking building, and then get.
Shit sucks so fucking bad.
It is awful.
So like the saving the bunnies thing is fine. Like that's fine writing because that's normal. That's a pretty easy thing that normal like shit they could use. But like the part where you're talking about no security and they use their dad's voice is like, this is supposed to be so futuristic. What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean?
It is like you're supposed to believe that like Umbrella is like a $1 billion company, but they can't fucking hire.
That,
but yeah, either way, like trillion. Anyways,
yeah.
But they talk about how like, you know, they have all this technology and shit, but like it's so flawed. The technology is so flawed because if fucking the fucking camera can't like. It just records. It doesn't identify anyone. It's using like voice activated like locks. So that's why they had the recording of their dad that unlocks the fucking shit, and that's why they go
like, in. It wouldn't just be voice activated, right? It would be like probably facial like recognition or eye or hand, whatever, right? There'd be multi-step probably.
You would think, but there's none. It's just voice.
Yeah, no, I know that. But what I'm saying is like. In a better episode, right? In an actual like show that was good, they would have like smarter shit or something, whatever, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is that like it's trying to connect with like the Resident Evil stuff, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever because as far as Resident Evil has gone, society has still existed. Like there was never a point where like Resident Evil went into like deadly sand apocalypse. Like sure, fucking Raccoon City got fucking nuked. But after that, you have Resident Evil 4, which takes place in another country, and the other country is fucked, but it's like society still exists. You have 5, where you're in Africa, and society's still fucked, but it's still going on. And then you have 6, where people are still have society, but it's still fucked. And then you have 7, where you're in Louisiana. That area is fucked, but society's still but it's still going on. And then 8, another country, society is a little different, but that area is fucked. So it's like society is still going, but there's never been like Resident Evil in a post-apocalypse desert where you have to wander. And it's like there's never been that. But this show tries to be like, yeah, everything got out of control, so now we live in a fucking post-apocalypse desert area. What? And then, yeah, we also are part of the canon because Wesker died in the volcano. What? Why even mention that? Why even mention that Wesker got fucking destroyed? They don't, and that's also the other thing, is that they don't mention Chris Redfield, they don't mention Leon, they don't mention Jill, they don't mention anybody from the series besides Wesker.
Well, if they're taking it from the side of the corporation, mostly, then you wouldn't hear anything about them because they don't care.
No, because I have a theory that the reason why they're not mentioning any of these characters is because they want to set them up what was supposed to be the later seasons.
But
That's
those
my
aren't
assumption.
coming.
Hmm?
But those aren't coming.
That's what I'm saying is that that was their plan initially.
Yeah, but it's over.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is that
Yeah, I know.
like they were planning on doing this. They were thinking that this show was going to be a hit. So that's
No.
why they didn't want to name drop any of the characters because literally the stinger of the fucking series is that there's two things that happen. In the past, Jade and Billy escape with Bert. But the tyrant from Resident Evil 1 is there. Because there's a whole fucking stupid shit where the building explodes. The building explodes and like there's rubble, and then the hand comes out from the tyrant. It does that, and then the future part, Billy's daughter gets kidnapped. No, not Billy's daughter. Excuse me. Jade's daughter gets kidnapped by Billy, so now she has to go get her daughter back. And it's like they were planning on doing another season. They ended it on a fucking cliffhanger to make it be like, oh yeah, it will be back. And that's why I'm coming up with this assumption that like they were planning on having another season to possibly integrate other stuff or particularly characters from the Resident Evil series.
Right.
Oh no! My God. Okay, now I remember they mentioned another character besides Wesker. So when okay, guess.
Shiva.
No. I would say think of more Resident Evil 2.
The girl.
No, not
man.
Claire. Not Leon.
The red dress girl?
Yes.
The Asian?
Ada.
Ada Wong.
Literally before Bert, Jade, and Billy leave, Al gives them a little piece of paper. He's like, "You have to go find her. She will know what to do." And then as they escape, Billy opens the fucking note and it says Ada Wong, Shinjuku, Japan, and it's like, oh my fucking God, this is awful.
And then fucking you just hear, yeah.
No.
Oh,
yeah, they all put sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is terrible. It is a terribly written show. There's, oh my God, there's also the fucking shit with the fucking the journalist that shows up. Because there's this journalist that like gets in contact with Jade back in the past, because Jade finds out about the whole thing about Umbrella and about the infection, and she tries to figure out, oh, who is this guy that talked about fucking Raccoon City being blown up, and then she finds the guy and she's like, oh, what's your connection? And he's like, Umbrella was here in shit, where was it? It's in a South American country. Yeah, it was in a South American country. I forget which country, but the dude is a journalist from there, and he talks about how Umbrella was making tests here. Oh, Tijuana, that's where it was. So there's a whole thing they talk about in that show where there's the Tijuana incident, and essentially what happened was that some guy got infected, started infecting other people, and essentially Umbrella stepped in and basically took care of it, I guess. So this investigative journalist tries to find out the truth about this. He finds out the truth, but Umbrella essentially through their evil little Illuminati back sources blacklists this dude, so he's not able to have a secure job and this and that. And then that's why he's on the path to reveal the truth about Umbrella. So Jade gets in contact with him, being like, I think my sister might be infected. He's like, what? He's like, are you sure about this? And she's like, yeah, I think she might be infected. And I think Umbrella is doing some shady stuff over here. And he's like, oh, all right, I guess I'll try to meet you. And then he meets them. And then he's like, hey, I got to figure out who is infected and this and that. And, you got to tell me. And then, Jade and Billy are like, we can't tell you, get away from us, you're wrong, the person's not infected. And then he finds out that it's Billy that's infected, and he's like, oh my God, you're infected, how long has it been? And then they tell him like it's been days, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense, this and that. He's like, we gotta figure this out. And they're like, no, weirdo, get away from us, you're wrong, you're like, Billy's not infected, like, even though she got bitten by this fucking weird ass dog that was in there for some fucking reason that looked really sickly, but she's not infected. And the guy gets captured and he gets tortured and killed. And it's like, the fuck was the point of this character? What was the point? I mean, besides being the exposition guy to tell Billy, yeah, there was an original Raccoon City. And, like, the whole rumors were that... well, what Umbrella told was that there was a gas leak that happened, and basically the whole city exploded. So, yeah. Oh my god. I don't like this show. I advise anybody that's planning on watching this to not watch this. Don't. Do not watch this show. It is not good. I do not like anybody. I don't like the characters.
How many chunches would you give it out of
none?
4 chunches?
None. Not even a negative, bro. I would just give it nothing. Just a black void. Just a hole.
Well, to compliment his black void, I would give it a white void.
No. Stop. No, nothing. I will not even give. I didn't even rate this show. This show doesn't even deserve a rating. It is not good.
Okay.
Plus, I don't want to do this.
It wasn't very bad show.
I don't want to do this in editing. It's like I said, it's just poorly written. All the characters are just incompetent idiots. That whole shit with Jade bringing that zombie onto the fucking boat. I'm like, you do not give a fuck about the safety of these other people. Like, you do not give a shit about these other people. And then there's this whole sequence where before the investigative journalist finds Billy and Jade, they go to a party because Billy thinks that she's gonna die from the infection. So she's like, I want to go out and have a party. I'm like, bitch, you can barely control yourself. You're trying to bite people and fight them. Like, why the fuck are you gonna endanger these people, you fucking asshole? Oh my god, like, it infuriated me because I'm like, you literally are gonna you're gonna endanger thousands of people just because I want to go out with a bang, bitch. You're trying to bite people. Oh my god, sorry. It's infuriating writing. It is infuriating. And this is not coming from a person that, like, is a diehard fan of Resident Evil. I just appreciate good writing in media. And it's like, this is everything that's wrong in zombie fiction. It's just everything that's wrong in it. Do not watch.
Bad show.
It's really bad. So, that's it for my thoughts on the Resident Evil show.
Yo. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. Morbius is on Netflix?
Is it?
It is?
Really?
Yep, it's on Netflix. Like, they just tweeted it 6 hours ago. That's like breaking news. Time to watch something else that's terrible.
Oh my god, and then you're gonna give up midway, and then I watched the whole thing.
I thought you saw the movie.
I didn't.
Oh, fuck.
All I know is that he's about to morph. Oh yeah, I see it right here. Holy shit. You know what's weird that came back? Fucking Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. That came back on Netflix. Weird. Oh, and speaking of fucking Resident Evil, I see the first Resident... I see the fucking first Resident Evil movie and Resident Evil Apocalypse. And I see fucking Nemesis there.
I loved Resident Evil 1, the movie.
Oh my god. Retribution.
Huh?
No, Resident Evil Retribution is also on here.
Oh, I love the first movie. I loved it a lot when I was a kid. I thought it was cool. You know, they're like, you're all gonna die down here. And then, like, you know, red line beams and shit. I think it also had what's her name? The girl from Fast and the Furious.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Huh?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I
Mm,
think she dies in that. Dude,
cool.
she was on Lost, and I'm pretty sure she died in there.
Cool. Thanks, Michelle. So yeah, but no, like I'm thinking about adaptations and shit. Like, but I do want to watch another bad adaptation, um, which is the Full Metal Alchemist live action movies. I want to see because they actually the last movie is going to come out, I think, in a couple of months. So I kind of want to see the first two, and I know
It's
that
not
they're not
canon.
good. I know that they're not good, but I just
No,
want to
they're
see.
not canon.
They're not canon, but they are adapting the entire series to be live
But
action.
just remember, they're not canon in Dragon Ball.
No, they're canon. They fight Broly. There we go. That's canon. Anyways, and then obviously the fucking Cowboy Bebop live action. Eventually I'll see that. I have to ask my cousin if like she even.
The show?
Yeah.
Didn't they cancel that too?
Yes, I'm saying I want to watch it. Just let me see this bad thing, all right, until I can have an opinion, like I did with
Yeah,
Resident Evil.
I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm just
No,
asking
you
you
coming out here and be like,
questions.
it was what canceled? Like, yeah, I know it's canceled. It
God,
is
just play
canceled.
Extraction with me, okay?
No.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, I will.
All right, cool.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's move on from this. All right,
Cool.
let's get into the news. Let's get on with our nights.
Blues news, blues news, blues news.
So let's talk about Splitgate. You ever play Splitgate?
I have. I'm actually glad we're going to talk about this. Did I post this one?
Yes, this is the thing that you put up because I found
Oh,
this
okay.
interesting. But yeah, basically, the developers of Splitgate, 1047 Games, is ending their development for new content. They're planning on moving on, in specifically the Splitgate universe, is what they said in their statement on Twitter. But yeah, I've never played Splitgate. I heard pretty good things about it, where it's essentially just
It's a
it's like Halo shooter, but with portals.
yeah, so it's like a 3v3 PvP game. I don't
Mhm.
know if there's a bigger team size. Um what was really interesting about this is uh didn't even hear anything about it. Just came up as a free game on PlayStation, and I weirdly just like to play almost every free game that comes out just to see like what the fuck's up. But this like a lot of cover art too. Like when cover art grabs me, I'll be like, oh, I want to play this real quick. So me and my friend thought the cover art looked interesting, and we saw it was a shooter, so we were like, all right, multiplayer, let's go see what it is. And I think we played maybe like a full week of this, like nonstop, pretty much. Uh, pretty cool. It's a decent game. Um, but it is like you said, feels a lot like kind of Halo typey. So
Yeah. I've only seen a couple of like gameplays. I know there's like one specific game mode where it's like a ball that you have to like grab to like it's
yeah,
like get points and stuff like that. But
I don't think I played that one.
yeah,
It
but I
might
mean,
be like Grid Ball or Gridlock or whatever.
I was about to say it looks interesting. I don't know if I heard any like criticisms about the game itself from anybody else, but like I said, I've only seen like gameplay of it, so I really don't know whether or not people.
Yeah, it definitely felt more for like kids.
Okay, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see that like they're planning on doing something else, and this game, I'm assuming was a success. So to
Uh,
continue on their next game to be still part of that universe is like, yeah, like it did pretty well
I
as a free to
wonder.
play game.
I wonder, like, what they're gonna end up doing is like, because it's the same universe.
Same universe using Unreal Engine 5. That's what they were
Yeah,
saying.
I'm wondering if they think they can make a better version of what it is already.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to see from this statement, do they say that they're planning on doing like another first person shooter or?
Well, if it's in the same universe, I would assume they're gonna be shooter. I know it doesn't have to be, but
Okay, yeah, it's saying we're turning our attention away from the iterative smaller updates and going all in to focus on our new game in the Splitgate universe, which will present revolutionary, not evolutionary changes to our game. It will be a shooter, it will have portals, and it will be built in Unreal Engine 5, and it will be free. Is what they said from their statement. So,
hope it comes on to PS6.
yeah, PS8. So yeah, that's that's a little neat thing. from the developers is that like I'm assuming it did well enough for them to actually continue on with a new project.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I don't even know this company. I wonder if it's just like
I think Splitgate
maybe a
is
small
like
team.
I think Splitgate is like their standout hit, like regardless.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, but moving on from that, what's not a standout hit is
Yeah,
Callisto Protocol director Glenn Schofield coming out and basically tweeting some shit that a lot of people didn't agree upon, which he had to backtrack. This was made known from a tweet. Well, it was retweeted by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. Basically, Glenn's tweet is, I only talk about the game during an event. We are working 6 to 7 days a week. Nobody's forcing us. Exhaustion, tired, COVID, but we're working. Bugs, glitches, performance fixes, one last pass through audio, 12 through 15-hour days. This is gaming, hard work, lunch, dinner, working. You do it because you love it. And basically, Jason Schreier is like, the whole thought process on this is that like this motherfucker is trying to glorify crunch culture.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of people are coming to the defense of Glenn Schofield being like, no, he's not talking about crunch. He's talking about how like, these people are proud for this project, but then, it's like I said, the whole talk about like crunching when it comes to games is starting to gray in a way. Well, I think in my perspective, I don't think it's necessarily gray. It's just like it's this weird taboo in woke in work culture that nobody talks about, being working overtime and shit like that. That it's like, well, you're making money, should you really complain? And I think because it's like, there's no real definitive for the gaming like perspective for a lot of developers and shit like that. There's no guarantee that they have another project coming up after this. So it's like, what do you do in that state? What do you do in this position where it's like you're really focusing on this one game, and then there's a possible chance where it doesn't sell well, or you just have no projects later on.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get as much as they can in. But yeah, like I said, Mr. Schofield backtracked and basically tweeted out, anyone who knows me knows that how passionate I am about the people I work with. Earlier, I tweeted how proud I was of the effort and hours the team was putting in. That was wrong. We value passion and creativity, not long hours. I'm sorry to the team for coming across like this. So it's like he kind of understands, at least he's not dense about it, but still, like, crunch culture is still something that in video games is still being done. But I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that a lot of people are like coming to to the light, seeing that like this is a problem, not just in video games, but also in other work cultures. Because this is why a lot of people strive to have unions in the video game industry, because it's like you get the job security and you don't have to work these absurd amount of hours.
Yeah.
Just to appease your investors. So, yeah. But Callisto Protocol, though,
should be good.
I guess. I mean, it's obviously gonna sell because Dead Space is such a big name. Besides the Dead Space remake. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, so which would you rather buy if you had to choose between the two? Dead Space remake or this?
This, because it's a different. Because I already played Dead Space.
Would choose Dead Space.
I know, because it's like a lot of people
sound mean.
A lot
of
people are nostalgic for Dead Space, but it's like I've already played it. It's a game you can always return back to, no matter how old it is. It's cool that they're doing a remake of it, and it's like gonna have some minor changes, and like the combat is gonna be a little bit different, but it's essentially the thing you've played before. I'm assuming they're not gonna change any of the story beats.
Well, see, for me, it's the familiarity. I don't know. The gameplay itself, like how well Dead Space was done. I don't think Callisto looks like it's that good.
I think Callisto looks pretty good. That's just me.
I mean, visually, like graphically, it looks fine, but
Yeah.
the way the guns and everything was working in the video, I don't know. Something just felt like it was off.
I mean, that's your I guess your plasma cutter like substitute. So
Right, yeah.
I mean, who knows? The only thing I remember from Dead Space not being good is the fucking turret sections with the asteroids.
Oh my god.
Those sections suck.
Did you play it on hard mode, like the hardest?
No, I because I played it on like probably medium, and even then I was like struggling. I was like, holy shit, this is bad. I can only imagine how fucking worse it gets. I'm fucking
I
zealot.
I had to do it on the hard mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I've been hearing is that like that specific section and like the harder difficulties usually like kill a lot of people's run in that game. Because
Yeah, I wasn't speedrunning it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is that like it's just difficult. It's difficult for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it feels really fucky, that part. As far as aiming and shooting, it feels like nothing lines up well.
Yeah, and then there are some times where the asteroids miss, like that just happens randomly.
Right.
So it's not a good section. I'm hoping they do rework on that section or just take it out in its entirety.
They should have. I'm pretty sure they'll rework it at least.
Hopefully. But yeah, like
well, it's not like it's a full remake, so right? Not a remaster.
Yeah, it's a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll get remade.
What?
The asteroid part will be remade.
Oh, yeah, probably. But like I'm saying, it's like it's one of those games that came out 2018, not 2018, because like 2007, 8. Forget when Dead Space came out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. But it's like it's still a good game in its own right. Besides that section, so I want to try something different. You know, as much as I like Dead Space and I like, you know, I guess some nostalgia factor, it's just like I kind of just want to play something different. And Callisto Protocol has those elements of Dead Space, but they do it differently because from the gameplay you have a melee attack with a baton shock thing, and then you have like a dodge, and then like the enemies mutate if you don't kill them properly, and then you're fucking kinesis shit like looks like it looks way too overpowered, and then you can throw dudes.
It definitely looks way too overpowered.
Yeah, like you can throw dudes in like fucking running fans. Like there's environmental kills and shit like that, which I was like, yeah, it looks like an updated version of Dead Space. Like it looks like it would have been like Dead Space 4 essentially. The reason why I wasn't like so interested in Callisto Protocol was because of the fact that they wanted to integrate it into the PUBG universe, which was I thought that was super weird at the beginning, and then later on they revealed that like it's not going to have anything to do with the PUBG universe. They just took it away from that. It was a weird time where that thing came out and then retracted from being part of that universe. So yeah, now my interest is a little bit back in. But yeah. Anyways, but I think overall for crunch culture, not good. Bad, Mr. Schofield.
Thumb down.
Time to take him out, shut him down, put him up, hit him down. So basically, the next thing I want to talk about is so some shit happened online. There is some images that some people believe to be a concept build of Silent Hill 2 remake, which I think is being made by Bloober Team. That's interesting because I heard that the medium wasn't that good. That was the latest game from Bloober Team. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake. We talked about this in another episode of the podcast where there was a guy that actually like found out that Konami was planning on doing a thing with Bloober Team that was like Silent Hill related, but that guy got like he got a cease and desist from Konami being like, don't put any more of this shit up, like take it down.
Yeah.
So that kind of like verified that he was kind of basically, telling the truth.
Yeah.
Um, so it's weird to see that Konami is making a comeback with video games because of the fact that like they've been gone for so long. Besides doing like updated ports of like other old games, because there was a Castlevania port, the Anniversary Edition, a bunch of other stuff that they were like putting out of like re-releases of games. But doing a full remake of Silent Hill is interesting, specifically Silent Hill 2, because a lot of people who like Silent Hill really like Silent Hill 2. And then, that kind of like, I guess, like, twists the knife a little bit about the whole thing of the Silent Hills game by Kojima, whereas, like, that was supposed to be the next big thing. But, nah, Konami has gotten to the point of just like, fuck it, we'll just redo 2. Um, but this is also another interesting aspect is I think they have to redo the entirety of 2 because of the fact that the source code for Silent Hill 2 and 3 are essentially lost to time. There was the HD collection that came out for the Xbox and PS3, and those versions are notoriously known to be the worst versions of Silent Hill 2 and 3. Because for Silent Hill 2 HD collection, for the Silent Hill 2 HD version and Silent Hill 3, they got completely different actors doing the characters that were voiced by other people in the original games. And what's hilarious is that like they I've heard about this like recently is that apparently they basically turned down the volume for the original voice actors and put the volume up for the new voice actors. So you can kind of hear a little bit of the old voice act. it is
That's so
bad.
goofy.
It is bad. And then the other obvious thing is the Comic Sans Silent Hill font that happens when you get into Silent Hill 2. So when you get into Silent Hill 2, there's a little like farm that originally had like different font in the original game, and in the HD collection has Comic Sans. And it looks not good. But like I said, it's one of those things where the source code for this fucking shit is gone. They threw it out. They got rid of it like years ago. So yeah, they have to like completely remake this whole game if they plan on doing it. But like I said, this particular proof of concept is like, they're using it in a new engine. It looks like it's a completely different camera angle because it looks like it's over the shoulder. I don't know if they're going to keep that over the shoulder perspective, but the other rumors is that they're planning on doing another Silent Hill thing with Annapurna, where they're planning on making that game episodic. So that's going to be a completely different other thing related to Silent Hill. Excuse me. Talking a lot. And yeah, they're trying to revitalize themselves, Konami. So like there's also another news article kind of like segueing into that Konami is planning on announcing a beloved franchise that's going to make a comeback for Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, Konami will announce a new game from a series loved around the world at TGS. So TGS is obviously happening the 15th. They're planning on talking, I forget when, because they have a specific slot, but I do not remember what time it's at. Yeah, they're talking about beloved series, and the other thing that they're also talking about is that there are sources talking about a remaster of the Metal Gear Solid games, and that a Chinese studio by the name of Virtuos is working on a new version of Metal Gear Solid 3. So that kind of leads into another thing where recently this happened where Konami delisted a bunch of versions of Metal Gear Solid on like different platforms. So like on Xbox and PS3, I don't think you can I don't think you can purchase the HD collection for Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. They're just not listed anymore, and I think also the same thing on GOG, where Metal Gear Solid, like Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2 got delisted. Oh, and the 3DS version of Metal Gear Solid 3 got delisted. So there was that whole ordeal that happened. I don't think they're back up yet. Maybe they are. I don't know. But that kind of if they're not, then I guess that kind of like coincides with one another, where it's like they're planning on doing a remake of that to sell the remake more. But that's also the weird thing, is that like Metal Gear Solid 3 is not on PC. So if they do a PC version of Metal Gear Solid 3, cool, I guess. But if it's done well, that's even better. But this is Konami, you know, this is Konami of now, where they're not known to be the greatest company as of this moment. You know, basically everything kind of just died after Kojima got fired. So like they really haven't had a good hit at all, because the last thing that they tried to really push out was Metal Gear Survive, and that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I saw a video recently by this YouTuber that I watch called Austin Eruption, and his video is basically I beat Metal Gear Solid Survive, so you don't have to, and he just goes in depth like about like his time with the game. It's very interesting. But yeah, Konami trying to make a comeback, both with Silent Hill and possibly maybe another thing that is also beloved by people. I don't know what it could be, you know, but
Uh,
when Tokyo Game Show happens, we'll probably know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, baby. So yeah, speaking about Tokyo Game Show, uh, so yeah, Tokyo Game Show is happening. So obviously the big names are Konami, Capcom is happening. They're going to be having a show on the 15th. One show is going to be talking about Street Fighter, and another show is going to be talking about the stuff that's coming up, which is the Resident Evil Village stuff, possibly some more stuff about Monster Hunter. There is a Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection that's happening, and the VR stuff that's happening for Village. So yeah, and then we have Square Enix also coming out, talking about some of their stuff. Theories are they're probably not going to talk about the second part of Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Final Fantasy 16, because that's still in development. Like that's going to be in development for a while, because I think they're planning on summer of 2023 for Final Fantasy 16. But the things that are coming out is the Crisis Core remaster, some stuff possibly for Final Fantasy 14, and I completely forgot that they have this thing called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is like their mobile game.
Final Fantasy Brave
Exvius. And then there are other stuff that they plan on releasing, which is Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is the
Tactics Ogre? Yeah?
Yeah, it's being remastered.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tactics Ogre, Dragon Quest Treasures, Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, and Forspoken, Harvestella, and the Switch port of Nier Automata. And then the possibility of Sega coming in, being like, "Yo, we probably got some stuff."
Probably, yeah.
Probably because the things, because they own Atlas, so besides, yeah, Sega is now Atlas's parent company.
That's sad that Sega makes such shit games and Atlas makes such great games.
I mean, they got Yakuza and they got Sonic.
Sega makes Yakuza?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Wow. So much hate. But yeah, like, they got Sonic Frontiers from the Sega end, and then the Atlas end is the remasters of Persona 3, 4, and 5, which I completely forgot, but that was at the game. What was it? The Game Awards? I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a possibility of that maybe showing up. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe there might be a little something about Yakuza 8. Who knows? I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, maybe Sega will be cool.
Yeah, and be like, yo, you want to see Yakuza? And I'm like,
They're like Yakuza 8, dragon like me,
like a dragon man,
like Drake
like
by Scorpion.
oh, Nathan Drake, and then they have Boss Logic do the poster to make me hate it even more. Anyways, so then, you know, then the other people that talk about some shit possibly is Bandai Namco. They have the One Piece game, Dragon Ball Breakers, which is that Dead by Daylight game. I saw some gameplay for that. It looked kind of interesting.
We're not doing this right now.
Okay.
We're not doing this right now.
Okay. They also have a Gundam game coming out. But yeah, it's just like some stuff to throw in there. And apparently Xbox is gonna have their own thing as well.
That Gundam game looks good.
Yeah, so Xbox is also planning on doing something over at TGS, which should be interesting.
Is it obtaining Call of Duty?
Yeah, and then showing
Are they
off,
gonna sign the paperwork in front of Sony?
Look, Japan, look at our Call of Duties.
Look at the game that sells more than everything.
But this is the weird thing, because of the fact that Xbox is not a big seller in Japan. So it's interesting that they're trying to do their own show at TGS. They're
probably trying to slide in and make Sony more. Like, I'm not joking.
Yeah,
they're probably trying to big dick Sony, bro.
Yeah, because like the only thing that they did that was like Japanese related was is that they did a deal with Sega for Phantasy Star Online 2. I remember that whole ordeal.
I thought Phantasy Star was a PlayStation game.
No, Phantasy Star Online was an MMO that like happened only in Japan, and the first game I think came out like PlayStation. I think, I don't remember, but yeah, like he did a whole ordeal with Sega, and like they got it to come out to the West. I think like years after it came out in Japan. But who knows? Maybe they probably acquired a Japanese studio.
Phantasy Star was on PlayStation at one point.
Okay, so yeah.
Sorry, been burping, man. Oh, it's it's probably chalky milk.
Probably the chalky milk. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Xbox is trying to get in that Japanese gaming market, but Nintendo's not going to be there. Sony is not going to be there.
You know what else is not going to be there?
These nuts?
NetEase.
Well, yeah, NetEase. Well, this is we're in a weird timeline because of the fact that like so many companies are being acquired by big corporations like NetEase, Tencent, Embracer.
I actually don't think this is so weird. I actually think this is the next step.
Everything being bought up by something else.
It makes a lot of sense.
I guess, but it's just
because eventually these companies got to like go out and die or thrive, and the only way to keep thriving is to join with another group.
To be sellouts.
You can make it on your own, but it's way easier when there's two of you.
Well, I mean, I don't really care about Quantic Dreams, so basically this next article is that NetEase obtains Quantic Dream.
I don't even fucking care.
Yeah, because like I've only seen like a lot of Let's Plays of Quantic Dream games, and they're like really pretentious as fuck. I know people really liked Heavy Rain, and I think the plot twist of Heavy Rain is stupid. And then like people played Detroit Become Human, and I'm like, the acting was okay. I liked Clancy Brown. I mean, who doesn't like Clancy Brown?
I love some Brown Clancy.
Yeah, I love it when he sounds like Mr. Krabs.
Crab.
But that story was also really stupid as well, because it's like robot civil rights. It was stupid. It was really stupid. And then the other big thing that they're planning on doing is a Star Wars game, Eclipse. That is the big thing that they're planning on doing, but there hasn't been a word besides that teaser trailer that was shown like a while back.
I think like say when they would announce it, or not announce it, but like announce information on it.
No, they haven't said a single thing. There was only that teaser, I think, at not TGS. It was the Game Awards.
Gotcha.
Because there was like a shit ton of like Star Wars games that were like coming out
Yeah, they were like, we have a new studio.
He's like, here's a Star Wars game by a studio you weren't expecting. It's fucking Quantic Dream, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna talk
And
about robot slavery. They're gonna talk about
yes.
Boba Fett with robot slavery.
Yeah. Kill all humans.
Oh my god, and they're gonna have a dumb serial killer plot twist. Oh my
Hello, we
god.
are Wesker.
Hello, I am Connor. And like that's the only thing
Yeah.
I think about from fucking
Beep boop bop boop.
Detroit
Give
Become
me your
Human.
pants or live.
Clancy Brown, I'm Connor. Anyways, it's funny because like the guy that plays that plays Connor has like a Twitch channel, and like he seems like a very nice gentleman. But
Does he?
yeah, he seems like a really
What?
nice guy. Yeah,
That's funny. So he's out there twitching it up?
yeah. He has I think it's like Deckard Games. I think that's the name of his Twitch channel.
Deckard Games.
Deckard. Yeah, I forgot how it's spelled. It's like with
You know,
like
that's Deckard Cain, basically, right?
not necessarily like Deckard, like that how that's spelled, but like with it like an H and a T. Anyways, yeah, Quantic Dream being snatched up by NetEase is interesting because like NetEase is trying to play a catch-up game with Tencent because Tencent is also buying a lot of shit as well. I think also the other thing was that I think the director, I forget, director of the Yakuza games, Nagoshi, yes, he's also part of NetEase now because he has his own studio now with NetEase called Nagoshi Studios. So
Okay.
that was another thing that a lot of people were talking about was that like him leaving the Yakuza team and being like, yo, like starting my own my own studio. But like that was also the other thing is that a lot of people were like, oh no, he's leaving Yakuza, but then people like were saying he like after Yakuza 3, he had like nothing really to do with like the writing of the games. So like even with like Yakuza 7, he was like not really there.
Yeah.
So it's so the games are essentially in good hands. But yeah, essentially their NetEase is playing catch up with Tencent because Tencent owns a shit ton of stuff. So Quantic Dreams is like their latest thing. So the interesting part is that like I feel like Quantic Dream is kind of a controversial pick because of what's going on like now with it, where there was a whole thing that happened where there was a lawsuit that happened about like misconduct at work, sexual harassment lawsuits and shit like that. So I don't know how the fuck even even Disney just gave Star Wars to that company to be like, yo, make a Star Wars game, even though you have a fucking lawsuit hanging over you. But I'm assuming that's also partially the reason why NetEase kind of like went in was because, oh, they're being trusted with a big ass IP. Let's see how much money we can make from that. And essentially they got bought up from that. But I feel like also, this is my interpretation as well, is that there's a possible chance that the reason why Quantic Dreams probably sold themselves to NetEase is because they're in that situation of being somewhat controversial. So yeah, I think it's just to get themselves out of that hole. So yeah, that's an interesting aspect of a studio being acquired, but I don't know, man. Do you like Quantic Dream games?
No.
Okay, moving on. You want to take this one because you're such a big Harry Potter fan?
Yeah. You know what else doesn't have Quidditch? The Harry Potter game.
I'm glad you segued somehow into that, I guess.
You know what else doesn't have Quidditch? Yeah, so the new Harry Potter game, apparently there's no playable Quidditch.
I'm disappointed. Next, you're gonna tell me there's no Voldemort, which I think there's actually no Voldemort.
So, from what the article says, is there's just a shortage of brooms, bro. Don't worry about it.
I hate this. I refuse to
Like
believe.
that joke? That was funny.
It's stupid.
Knock, knock. Not brooms.
Quidditch. That's really dumb. Because like you have a part of the trailer where they're playing Quidditch.
Uh-huh.
It is so stupid.
Mm. So here's the thing, right? Wesley actually brought this up to me about that, and he was like, "How do you feel about it?" And I was like, "I mean,
Ashamed.
I don't really care." And then he was like, he's like, "It's such a big deal, though. Like, it's part of the,
Yeah. You remember when you watched
Like, he was making it sound like it was part of the integrity of, like, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter? Yeah.
And, like, in the movies, and I don't really read, so I don't know about the books, but in the movies, like, yeah, there's a lot of, like, Quidditch almost in everything, I think.
Uh-huh.
But, like, I don't want to fucking play Quidditch, so I don't really care. I want to cast spells and beat the fuck up out of these fucking spiders and woodland creatures that I'm going to be beating up.
And ride your weird Pegasus thing.
Yeah, the one that's like made of bones.
Yeah. Oh, whoops! I hit my mic. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care about the Harry Potter world, to be honest.
Honestly, I'm actually pretty stoked about this game.
This game looks okay, because it's big open world Harry Potter, but it's weird just to be like, nah, like we're not doing this, even though like it is part of the universe. It's just really weird.
Yeah, I hope it has Billie Eilish in the soundtrack.
Yeah, for her to do breathy vocals about Harry Potter, be like, Harry Potter.
I hope the guy that sings about Billie Eilish, big t-shirt Billie Eilish, I hope that's
Big-
in this.
Big shirt, yeah, Harry Potter, big
Harry
shirt.
Potter.
He is Voldemort, the bad guy. I'ma stop.
See, that was pretty funny. Look, my joke was good, your joke was good. We're
No,
very jokesters here.
I refuse. Anyways,
We're Haler bears.
so this is also the interesting thing is that Quidditch was in a Harry Potter video game by EA.
Yeah, multiple.
Yes, so it's like it's crazy to think about. They're just like, nah.
Let's
not
put it this
anymore.
way. I think I still have my Windows 95 CD for the Harry Potter video game. I'll send it to you. You go ahead and play that fucking Harry Potter Quidditch. It's not good.
Yeah,
you can play it. It's not good.
Yeah, early 2000s PS2 games were not the greatest.
Oh shit! Right. Yeah, my 2000 Harry Potter CD, not 1990. Wait, was it?
Wait,
When did the movie come out?
wait.
It wasn't 95, because that'd be 5. It was 2000.
Yeah, it was 2000, but like still. But I'm trying to think that 2000 game. I think there was a PlayStation 1 Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Anyways.
on the PC because I was a cool kid.
Yeah.
Not poor, definitely.
But Quidditch, though.
I played Quidditch on the PC.
Think about J.K. Rowling rolling in her grave.
She's alive. She's alive. Betty White's rolling in her grave.
Is she alive? I mean, her career died pretty quick. Fucking.
Well, she
J.K.
started
Rowling.
transgender hate, so
Yeah. Thanks,
it's
J.K.
not her. First of all, she's worth so much money. There's no problem if she loses her job or two.
It's still hilarious at the fact that like this company had to come out and be like, yeah, this game has nothing to do with J.K. Like it has to do with her IP, but nothing with her.
Dude, did you watch the Sorry, I know I'm like breaking away here, but did you watch the
thing?
The Harry Potter 30th thing?
No, I didn't watch it, but
I
only heard about the they make no reference to JK.
Hold on. She's in the fucking thing. But she's not, so
She's
it's
there in
so
spirit?
fucking funny.
From her grave.
She's alive. So dude, this is fucking hilarious. Everything that J.K. Rowling says in this fucking show is pre-recorded footage from everything before any year before she said that shit about transgender people. So that I'm pretty sure so that HBO could be like, well, that was 2017 J.K. Rowling.
This was before. Before the bad J.K.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
So like this shit's recorded and like it's so weird that like they have these like it's almost like she was like recording to be ready for something like this because like she's sitting there and like somebody's
It
like,
it
so what do
sounds
you think about Harry Potter? And she's like, it's one of the best movies ever, you know, whatever and shit
yeah.
and whatever. But she's like answering questions about it and like,
I was gonna say it sounds like a last will and testament kind of
yeah,
thing.
it's not great. At
Yeah.
least the parts where she comes in because it feels very forced, obviously, because
Yeah.
it's not.
Because that's also the problem is that like it's such a beloved series that it's like we try talking about like separating the artist from the art, and it is hard to do that because she was also the person that was supervising the movies as well. So it's like a lot of these actors when they were kids like knew her. So it's interesting to see that like in that documentary from what I've heard is that like they tried not to talk about her. And like, you know, it's like it's like, what do you do? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. So because you were talking about separating the artist from
From the art.
the art. Sorry, I dropped my phone.
It's okay.
Doing separating the artist from the art. So like, yeah, it's hard to do things like that. I think sometimes, but I think like kind of like to artists, like artists, people just artists.
Artie
To
art.
music, I think to like musicians, um, when like people are like, I don't know, like this person's bad for this reason, and then I'm like, oh man. Okay, like let's go with R. Kelly because R. Kelly went to jail recently.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know the song "Ignition," right? Or whatever the
Yes.
fuck it's called.
The ignition, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Hot and
mission.
fresh out the kitchen, mama
Yeah.
rolling that body. Yeah, yeah. So, um, you know, me and my friends have joked around like, oh, I can't listen to him no more. But the truth is like, if somebody was like, morally, you shouldn't listen to him, I'd be like, I mean, I get it, but I'm still gonna sing Ignition, bro. Like, it's
Yeah.
so hard,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't relate like Ignition to like him abusing women. I relate it to me listening to it, having a good time with my friends when I was, 10, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Not like every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh God, he hurt women, or I don't know. It's a hard thing because like again, like you don't want to be like
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that like just separating the art from the artist is the
not
hardest.
feeling,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Michael Jackson is the biggest one. Even though a lot of the was like allegations and stuff like that, but like people still believe the
yeah,
victims.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of stuff that it's like it's hard to do that, and I feel like with this particular series, it is very hard to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always watch Harry Potter to be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, there's no part of you that's like I don't like trans people, so I guess I'm gonna watch Harry Potter.
Well, I never put my stance out there about this, okay? But are you forcing me to put my stance out there, bro?
Me?
Yeah. You were like, you're not gonna say that I hate trans people.
I mean,
And
do
then,
you?
no, I don't.
Okay.
Not. Oh wait, no, I do not.
No.
No, I do
Yes.
not hate. No, because like I was like, no, I do not. And then I was like, no, right, okay. So no, I do not hate trans people. I don't hate anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I hate everyone, but that's different.
Yeah. That's a different reason.
No, I think like it's so weird to hate a specific group of people
Yeah.
because like
I'm trying to remember the quote that she put down, but it was like very transphobic. Like that.
oh no, the shit that went on was literally. I mean, this isn't word for word, but it was about women being women only, and trans women are not women.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like so weirdly like just
Adamant
mad
about it.
about it.
Yeah. She was like really, really like.
And
just,
it's like I'll never
like,
understand how people can be like that.
I think that was the thing is that like nobody asked, but she was the
Right.
one that put it out there, and that's what
Right.
essentially.
It's almost like when what's his name? Liam Neeson just came out and was like, my sister got stalked by a black man or whatever, and
my
we were
sister's
just like,
friend. Yeah.
yeah,
Some shit like
and
that.
we're all just like, bro, you're getting interviewed for Ant-Man. What are you talking about?
or whatever the fuck he was doing at that time, or like I think it was like Taken or something.
It was Taken too. And
or,
what the fuck are you doing telling us about this dumb shit?
yeah, he's like, I felt vengeance. Like, I want to kill the black bastard, and it's like, what are you doing, Liam? You were Qui-Gon, and then he came back as Qui-Gon in the fucking Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. And I'm like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't say he has to kill a black bastard.
Yeah. Yo, so when you saw that, were you thinking like, I wonder how long until his career's gone?
Kind of, yeah.
When I saw that, that's what I thought. I was like,
oh, Liam's not gonna have a career after this.
I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I think I waited like 3 months before I like revisited that idea of like, is his career gone? And I was just like, how is this guy still not fucking like getting tagged and dumpstered on, you know?
I mean, the only thing I've seen him being tagged in, or like what I've seen a thread of, is him with like fan photos of him pissing himself. Like,
it's just funny.
He just has like a giant pee stain on like his pants. Every fucking fan photo you can see because he's just pissed drunk. So that's the only thing I've seen of like Liam as far. I started to laugh my ass off when I saw that. But yeah, when that statement came out, I was just like, it's weird because it's also the same thing with fucking Mark Wahlberg. Where that shit came out, where like he assaulted, he committed he committed a hate crime when he was younger, and it's like, yeah, yes. I understand he grew from that. You know, he's an adult, but it's like the dude. I think the guy lost. The guy that was suing Mark Wahlberg for that hate crime.
I don't know.
I don't know if they came to any kind of settlement, but still, it's just like it's such a bizarre thing of like, it's like, yeah, I understand you growing as a person. Maybe you might have changed, but it's like you did this incredibly fucked up thing.
What really sucks is he doesn't talk about it more.
No,
if he was more open about it and like was like I feel so, you know, I don't want him to or him. I don't want anyone to have to like constantly feel the pressure or pain of what they've done before, but like there should be some more remorse to it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if he ever came out with a statement about that, as far as I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. The whole thing about trans people is and this chick is annoying. Also, we're here from no brooms, by the way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
From no brooms to trans hate.
But we're talking about the person that created this whole series.
Oh yeah, right.
That's how we got into this whole conversation. But yeah, no Quidditch. Anyways, moving on. But you know what? We could say yes to Xbox Game Pass for friends and family plan. You want to take this one?
Tell me about this one because I didn't.
Oh, you didn't read this one?
No.
Wow. Okay. I was about to say, let's take it away, Haler, and you're like, nah, I didn't read this shit.
Sorry, bro.
Anyways, basically, Xbox is coming out with their new plan for Xbox Game Pass, where you can have 5 people on an account for friends and or family.
You won't add me, right?
You won't pay me back?
No.
Okay, so no. But basically, it's an interesting and pretty good deal. Because you know you get to be 5 people under one account, and you can play pretty much everywhere and anything, the cloud, PC, or on your Xbox. So it's basically Game Pass Ultimate, but for your friends and family, and yourself, obviously.
Fair price for the shit.
So what's interesting is trying to see. They have prices on here, but I cannot really tell if that's the correct price. So I see that it's $25 a month for friends and family, but you can basically put down the amount of people that you're planning on having. So yeah, with 2 players in a group, each player subscription will cost to $12.50 per month, while the full 5 players will be $5 per. Wait, what is this? Yeah, I'm not really sure to be honest, but I think
It's okay. I was just wondering.
yeah, because they're doing like specific savings and stuff like that because it's not fully out yet. They were testing this in Ireland and I forget.
Columbia.
Yeah, Colombia. Where's the other place? So like, it's still in the testing grounds, but they are planning on pushing this out. So who knows? Maybe there's going to be the full price, but then they're planning on like if people already have Game Pass Ultimate, then they can convert it to the friends and family plan for cheaper. You know how like PlayStation has that thing with like the what is the premium and the extra on that shit, where if you convert it now, it's cheaper for the time being. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to pay like the $38 essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's essentially like that in a way. So yeah, but I mean that's kind of cool, I guess. Um Also do not look at the fucking comments because it's just fanboy shit happening down there. God, I saw like one.
PlayStation nerd. PlayStation's better,
Oh
nerds.
my god, it is so fucking bad.
My system
Anyway,
was $500.
yeah, so it's cool. It's like essentially kind of like Netflix but video games. Yeah, when you really think about it, it's like Netflix but video games. So yeah, good for Xbox for creating a plan like that. Unlike fucking Sony with their bullshit, fucking re-releasing
Yeah, I didn't
The
get to
Last of
give you
Us.
an update on that. There's some new games came out on my good old trusty extra plan. You know,
Yeah, I saw. Can you
I
read them
got
off?
Origins and Xenoverse 2. You know,
Oh
all
my
these
god.
very high end games.
Yeah, I see the list. You get Alex Kidd, Assassin's Creed Origins, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Deathloop, Xenoverse 2, Monster
No,
Energy
dude.
Supercross,
I already have that game. Don't need that.
Rabbids Invasion, the interactive TV show, Rayman Legends, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game complete edition, Spiritfarer, Watch Dogs 2, and then that's just for the extras. And then for
It's not
premium,
Spiritfarer, it's Spiritfarer.
anyways, for premium, you got Bentley's Hack Pack, which was a PS mini game. Well, yeah, it was a PS mini game on
Uh-huh.
PS3. Kingdom of Paradise, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, the bad one.
It's like,
Uh, uh,
no, stop.
Thieves in Time was not good.
Thieves in Time was so much fun.
Stop it. Siphon
Oh my
Filter
god, this
2,
guy's wrong.
the Sly Collection, and Toy Story 3. But, you know, obviously the PS3 stuff is the streaming.
Yo, I would love to play Toy Story 3.
I mean, there you go. You can play it now.
No, it's on premium. I'm not getting premium. I'm stupid.
Wow. I can't believe you hate PlayStation. Anyways. So yeah, that's stuff that's happening. You know, Xbox continues to try to be consumer friendly in a way by also monopolizing a bunch of IPs. But, you know, that's every game company at this point. But I'm going to skip over this one, but speaking about monopolizing and trying to have a hand in video games, Sony and Tencent buy 30% stake in From Software.
Sony too?
Yep, Sony and Tencent. So basically, the 30% is the added amount from both Sony and Tencent.
Okay.
So yeah, because I believe.
So they both did 15%.
Yeah, basically. But technically, Kadokawa is still owns the majority of ownership for From Software because that is their parent company. But it's interesting to see that Sony and Tencent is, you know, putting their hands in this in this pile because of the fact that I think the reason why they did this is to make From Software publish their own stuff over in worldwide, because worldwide it is Bandai Namco that usually publishes their stuff.
Yeah.
Besides Sekiro, because Sekiro was published by Activision.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Do you know why?
So this is the weird thing. There's okay. So originally, Sekiro was supposed to be a Tenchu. Do you remember the game Tenchu? Tenchu was a PS1 game that was like a stealth game.
I know the name. I just don't remember the cover.
Okay, but Tenchu was a ninja stealth game that was on PS1 that Sekiro initially was supposed to be a like a sequel to it, but eventually it evolved into its own thing, and Tenchu is owned by Activision. So when the project became its own different thing, that's when they decided, all right, let's make it its own specific IP. So then that's how it became Sekiro, and that's how it was still under Activision's like publishing in the States.
So they were gonna make it
A Tenchu. It was going to be
but
Tenchu.
then they made it
Sekiro.
Sekiro, but it was already attached to Activision.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, but besides that, like most of the From Software games have been Dark Souls. Well, actually, Sony published Bloodborne. That's why Sony has the rights to Bloodborne.
Huh.
But Souls games, Dark Souls, specifically Dark Souls and Elden Ring, are both published by Bandai Namco.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why like I think most of the merchandising for those specific
So
series
what is From Software on?
That is a good question. Well, I'm assuming they own the IP rights for certain games. I'm assuming also for Bandai Namco it's mostly like merchandising stuff. Like there's probably like contracts that we don't specifically know about that From Software probably owns a specific thing while their publisher owns another like percent of like whatever else. But that's also the other thing is that like Bloodborne, I think, is a Sony brand.
Mhm.
So I think Sony technically owns Bloodborne, and that's why Bloodborne is such in a weird state. Because it's stuck on the PS4. But coming back to this whole thing is that like the reason why they're doing this whole thing is because both Tencent and Sony have big stakes in the publishing area that they want to make From Software be able to publish their own stuff worldwide rather than relying on other companies to publish their stuff. So, yeah, it should be interesting. Here's hoping that we get Sekiro 2 or Bloodborne 2, one or the other, one day. But you know what's happening one day?
I don't think this.
Uh, uh, you know what's happening one day? Fucking Halo.
I'm on the wrong article.
Oh, okay. So, well, season 3 of Halo, has been delayed to March of next year, and the Forge is arriving November. So I don't really know anything about Halo multiplayer. But what I've been hearing about Halo Infinite specifically is that like it's been a fucking mess. Obviously with the whole thing of, when this game was on the verge of release, I think the multiplayer came out first and then the campaign. So that was a weird thing that was happening, but a lot of people were complaining about the multiplayer being really buggy and broken. And a lot of people were hoping for the next season, obviously being season 3, to pick things up, but that's not happening until March of next year. Because there's probably a lot of stuff they have to fix. And the other thing is the Forge, which I forgot was their like create a maps kind of thing, which is interesting. There's also like a tweet that came out of someone making Andy's room from Toy Story. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just one of these things where like 343 is trying to make good with the community. But it's gonna be a while till that happens. So one day Halo will be okay, I think. I don't know. Did you play any of Infinite?
The new one?
Yeah.
No. I don't have an Xbox.
Not even on PC, bro.
My PC doesn't really handle anything except for League of Legends, and I'm so fucking good at that game, so why would I play anything else?
All right, fair enough. But yeah, for any of the Halo fans, you're gonna have to wait a while till the game gets, I think, good. I think.
I
Um,
mean, if they like it, they're playing it, you know.
yeah, I guess. I guess. Uh, but what else is good and possibly gonna make a comeback? Hopefully. Uh, SNK versus Capcom.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby.
I actually did enjoy this game.
SNK versus Capcom 2. Fight for the Millennium 2000 World Champion Tour Edition. Uh, whatever the fuck it's called. I remember playing that on the GameCube because the GameCube version came out, and I was like, "This is fucking great." I know none of these characters besides, I guess, some of the Capcom characters, and I'm like, "This game is fucking awesome."
So that was great though. Like it gave you another set of characters you didn't even know,
Yeah,
and
because
like that was kind of cool because like it felt just like it was just more Street Fighter characters.
I was like, I know nothing of like at the time I didn't know anything about SNK.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It,
basically, uh-huh. Go ahead.
it's just something that like it's so cool. Like I don't know about you, but like I can think like when I was a kid and I played this game for the first time, it was just so cool to see like the two art styles next to each other.
Hey,
The
Shinkiro and well, there was like a couple. There was like Shinkiro, Nishimura. Um, Shinkiro is known for doing a lot of like SNK art. A lot of people like I want to say criticizes him, but like people say that he draws a lot of his male characters as like George Clooney.
hmm,
Uh, but then Kinu Nishimura is also, I believe it's Kinu Nishimura. Shit, hold on, I don't want to like mispronounce her name. Yes, Kinu Nishimura is very well known because she did a lot of Street Fighter art. I really dig her art. Um yeah, Kinu Nishimura. Cuz I remember like she did like some of the character art for like Kyo, Iori, um in SNK versus Capcom. It's just her art is fucking phenomenal. So good. But yeah, a lot of the art in that game was like really fucking good. And like speaking about the art, is like that's why it was like really talked about because at Evo, they had a whole booth where they basically did like SNK characters meeting up with Capcom characters. So you have like uh
nice.
Ryo talking, well not talking, but like, doing a pose with Ryu, uh Isla from KOF 15, having a pose with Cammy, and then another one where Rugal is doing a pose with Luke, and you got Shermie, the best girl, doing a pose with Manat, and it's like it's really good art, and it's from both the illustrators, Isuke Ogura and Shinkiro, so it's like this cool ass shit. I was just like, these two prolific artists that like, and these characters that should be in a game together because they've been together for a really good fucking game. But like the whole story behind this is it's interesting because like I forgot, like, after this game came out, SNK was essentially bankrupt. So that's why like they never came out with anything afterwards. It wasn't until like recently where they had basically a revitalization because of the fact that I think they got new investors. There was a whole big talk about like the Prince of Saudi Arabia being interested in, well, he has a stakes in SNK. So that's why it kind of like revitalized their,
Dude, I would eat steak at SNK.
yeah, that the Saudi Arabians
Oh, sorry, my fan
is
had to
on
adjust it here. Hold
Amazon or
on.
Alexa, turn off fan. There you go. I helped you.
Alexa, shield.
Let's activate. All right. So yeah, but basically it's a whole series of unfortunate events where like the game, it's a very well-known game. But SNK just went out of business, and then like I said, it wasn't until recently that they came back. I think with KOF 14. I think what killed them was actually like KOF 13. Well, there wasn't necessarily a game that killed them, but like they did do stuff for the PS3 and Xbox, but essentially at the time when SNK went bankrupt was around when this game came out. And it's been 20 years since they they went back to this game. Yeah, so you have people from the Capcom side talking about, they would love to do this. I didn't know that Hideaki Itsuno, the current director of Devil May Cry, was a part of that series as well. But he's currently occupied with Dragon's Dogma 2. And yeah, and SNK currently is working on like other stuff. They're going to be working on the Garo Mark of the Wolves sequel. They also plan on doing more updates for what is it called? For KOF. There's also the rollbacks thing that they're planning on doing with Samurai Showdown. So like they still have stuff they gotta figure out, but the good thing is that like they're both Capcom and SNK are on the same side of like, yeah, we would like to return to this series again. Because goddamn fucking SNK versus Capcom, so good.
Yeah, man.
SVC is very, very good. Specifically 2, because fucking that London stage is so good.
So these are somehow out of order for me, so just let me know what the next one is.
Yeah, don't worry, I got you, fam. I got you. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, because like I kind of went out of order.
Maybe it's you just jumping around then.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like segue into the right things because
okay. You know what else has 7 segues? No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say, but speaking about Capcom, they had a conversation with the executive producer Jun Takeuchi about the development of RE7.
Yeah.
About how originally Capcom's idea for RE7 was to make it a live service game until Takeuchi stepped in and was like, nah, let's not do that.
It's such a smart idea not to do that.
Oh my god, was it a good idea not to do that?
Like,
holy shit.
Could you imagine? Like, there would be no...
Like Capcom in like the
when they say live service game, like, that's like an MMO kind of, right?
No, I think they were planning on doing like it had to be online, possibly some online cooperation kind of thing. He didn't really go into depth about like what exactly they were planning.
Yeah.
But they were planning let's see, downloadable content, ongoing service games, microtransactions, and online multiplayer. That's what they were really pushing for from
I wonder if they wanted to do PvP.
I think they wanted to do somewhat of like
like Monster Hunter.
Maybe Monster Hunter, or there was a online Resident Evil game called Resident Evil Outbreak. Where
oh yeah.
Do you remember that, right?
Yeah. Well, I know it because of old man dinosaur guy.
Oh, Dinosaur Man.
Dino Dad.
Yeah, Dino who will not be named. But yes, that was a multiplayer game. You had the option to do multiplayer, but like I'm going to assume that's what they were kind of striving for. But like I'm saying is that like Capcom around the PS3 era when like microtransactions became like a big thing, were pretty atrocious with that because a lot of games that Capcom were like pushing out had like a shit ton of microtransactions or like downloadable content that was like really integral to like a lot of games. The biggest one I can think of is like Asura's Wrath, where in order to get like the true ending, it was a fucking DLC that you had to buy. It was a DLC episode you had to buy.
Gross.
So, yeah. There was also Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where a lot of the characters that were in the PS Vita version were downloadable content in the PS3 version. And, you have fucking Remember Me, where like there was moves that you can get, but you had to pay money for the moves.
What?
Yeah, I don't think there was like a lot, but there was like some moves that were like,
it doesn't matter. Even if there's one move, that's insane.
It like I said, Capcom is pretty atrocious when it comes to microtransactions and stuff like that. Because like even now, like some of the stuff is like not great as well. I'm trying to think of like stuff currently from Capcom. The red orbs shit from Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
Yeah, the Devil May Cry red orbs shit, the blue orb stuff, the unlock early stuff that's also not good that Capcom has like, I want to say pushed, but have like put out there. So yeah, Capcom's pretty atrocious with that shit. So to think that RE7, the biggest hit and the real revitalization of that series that it desperately needed, was going to be an online game with microtransactions and shit like that. I mean, it has DLC, but it's like story DLC and stuff like that. It's all single player shit. It's like there's really nothing in RE7 that's like you got to be online and play this. There's like, I think there's leaderboard stuff, I think. But it's a single player game, in and out. But yeah, it's crazy. But like, yeah, reading this article from Video Games Chronicle and talking about just from Jun Takeuchi's perspective on this, it's just crazy to think about that. Like, you know, it's funny that he says, you know, the president just called them up and like, yo, like Resident Evil is not going the way we expected. You got to step in. And he's like, all right, I guess I'm in. But he's like, even then,
son of a bitch, I'm in.
but I got to bring in one of my dudes. So he brings in Nakanishi, the game's director, and it's like, we're gonna rework on this thing. And then the consensus that they came to was just
literally
like,
just fires everyone. He's like, all right, time to, I'll do it myself.
yeah, no, just like reading the rest of this article, he's like, they had a multiplayer idea that they were like, nah, we're not doing that. And then they were like, the biggest thing that Capcom was like really not looking forward to was making a single player game, but that's what they decided to go with. And then it came out, and well, even the demo for that was just like a critical hit, and people fucking love RE7. You know, RE7 has some flaws, but like for a complete tonal shift from RE6 to 7, it was just like it kind of went back to its roots in a way. Where you're doing all these puzzles, it's more atmospheric horror, you know. You're in this giant fucking, I guess, mansion-like area. It's like it has its problems with like obviously the enemies and stuff like that. But it's still a good game. Like I still like RE7.
Yep. It's a good game.
It's a good game. And it's unfortunate because like, you know, there was that article that I think I read that like RE8, they stepped away from the horror and made it more action. And I'm just like, nah, don't.
And they did another like 5. You know?
Yeah, it's like, don't do that. Go back to horror. Like
they were like, what can we do with fucking Resident Evil 8? And then they were like,
like
Shiva!
like the themes in 8 were interesting because it's like all like fairy tale stuff where it's like witches and werewolves and, you know, all this other stuff where it's like,
yeah,
I was like, it doesn't feel like Resident Evil, but fuck it, like Resident Evil's so stupid and far off.
Yeah, RE Village was like,
I mean, we got Lady
what
D.
they would do if they were allowed to go fucking ape shit on whatever they wanted to make for an RE, like for one day. And they were just like, here's all the things we think we could do.
Because Resident Evil is so far removed from fucking zombies at this point. So it's like,
yeah,
might as well go in a completely different direction, but have fucking Chris Redfield come in and be like, I'm gonna punch something. And he punches something.
RE4, where they're just like, the Spanish flu.
Yeah, because like it's also interesting because we have the remake for RE4 coming out, and
I'm so excited. It's still a great game. I love that game so much.
Yeah, I love RE4. RE4 is my first RE game.
It just felt really good.
Yep, it's a good old time.
You know, my first RE game was
These nuts.
Diablo 1.
Yep, that's an RE game. You got it.
He said, "Yep."
Yep. You got it.
All right, good.
Yeah. So basically, that with that, we already talked about Cyberpunk getting a DLC. Phantom Liberty is what it's called. It's coming out next year. And basically the whole ordeal with that was that it was planning on having Keanu Reeves reprise his role as Johnny Silvercock. Yeah. But yeah, we talked about that. And then 2 other little things that I kind of added last minute. Rumors are true. This is coming from Jason Schreier over on the Twitters from Bloomberg. Ubisoft plans to announce several Assassin's Creed games on Saturday. I believe this Saturday, including 2 main games in Infinity. There is Red, set in Japan, and Neo/Hexy, set amongst the witch trials of the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, I'd be stoked for the
So I didn't read the
Japan
full
one.
article, but basically, I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, why not? Honestly, why not?
No, yeah, I was just talking to you about this earlier, about Ubisoft doing their little conference. Hopefully there's more than just
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. I know that there's probably nothing about Extraction going to be there, but I would really like them to do a little bit of something.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just it's personal.
No, because like Ubisoft is notoriously known for like for stopping their support of specific games. I mean, we had this whole fucking shit happen with the multiplayer for a bunch of games that they were like delisting.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, but this game just came out this year. Hopefully, they're not already looking down on it.
And being like, it didn't sell that well.
6-7 months later,
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know how well it sold. It might have sold well. I doubt it.
I doubt it, but who knows? We could be wrong. And then yeah, speaking about Ubisoft, this is coming from Steven Totillo, over on the Twitters again. Tencent is not buying Ubisoft, but it is investing heavily into the company, announcing a new 300 million, what is that, pounds? I believe that's pounds.
Yeah, it's pounds.
Or euro dollars. Euro dollars.
It's euros.
I think it's I think it's euros. Never mind. Sorry, the Europeans.
Yo, wanker.
Anyways, investment into 49.9% stakes, almost half, in the Guimond brothers, which is Yves Guillemot, I believe, is the CEO of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically the company run by Ubisoft's co-founders that has the largest stake in Ubisoft. So it's basically half Tencent and half the Guillemot brothers.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy.
Really quickly, ask me what the euro symbol is again, real quick. But say like how many dollars it is too, real quick. All right.
300 million. What is it?
What that symbol? Oh,
yeah.
the Monado dollars.
Oh, 300 million Monados.
Monados dollars.
That's a lot of Monados. God. But yeah, so basically Steven Totillo goes into a bit more detail about this. Yeah. But it is crazy. Like I'm saying, Tencent is like fucking going in there, man.
Yo, yeah, they've invested in so many. Do you know they own fucking League of Legends?
Yeah. Yeah, they own Riot.
That made me so sad.
Yeah, no, they own Riot. That's the
thing.
They
own Riot. That's why there's so many Misfortune costumes.
Yeah, exactly. So
they
many.
were like, you know what sells?
Misfortune
costumes.
Fake women. That's what
fake
sells.
Fake women.
From video games, yeah. You like that League of Legends fucking TV show on Netflix? Titties.
Yeah, they didn't really like titties. Wasn't really in the show.
It's okay. It's alright.
Shirtless Men was.
Titties though.
It's a good show. You should watch it. It got a fucking Emmy or some shit.
It did. That's crazy. But yeah, I'll probably watch it. I'd be like, I don't care about the video game, but I'll care, I guess, a little bit about the show.
I don't care when it's a fighting game.
Yeah, I mean, if they came out with like Netflix's Guilty Gear and they try to explain the fucking absurd lore of Guilty Gear, maybe I'll care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and be like, so bad guy is out there becoming the Guilty Gear, baby. And like, that's cool, I guess.
The guiltiest of years.
Thanks, Soul Bad Guy. But yeah, basically, that is it for the news. That is it for us.
The news.
Monado news.
Huh. Oh, holy shit. Do we have anything we want to do before
we sign out?
No, like last time we were gonna do the Resident Evil. There's something else we should do.
Morbius? You want to watch Morbius?
Oh fuck yeah, let's do it. Yes,
So we can actually have a conversation about that.
it's Morbid time.
Yeah. I guess because all I know is about the bad shit about Morbius, but I know nothing truly about it. But yeah, I guess we'll watch Morbius and come back
All right.
next.
I'll go all the way through it too, because it's not 8 episodes long.
Okay, that's fair. All right, we're finishing up. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next time.
Episode 19 is this one.
It's this one. All right, bye bye.
Okay, bye.